baby. All right. Welcome to a brand new episode of Strong Style here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Had to bring it to this channel because we got so much to talk about. That WrestleMania 40 kickoff show, what happened last night with Triple H going after The Rock for years and years of disrespect there in one 3-minute speech. Talk about everything that happened and the fallout, the repercussions, our thoughts on it, where we think, what we think is going to happen next as we're going down the road to WrestleMania. But let's introduce ourselves first. The band is back together. I am the Outlaw, John Rocha, joined as always by these two wonderful gentlemen. Aaron Turner, how you doing down there in Florida? Great to see you, brother.
Guys, I'm fighting something, so if I'm not clear, I apologize. It's been a really rough week, but it's been a minute. So I just things have happened, I guess. Mandy Rose is still champion, I assume, and Vince is still running the company.
Vince is totally still running.
And CM Punk came back from his injury, and him and MJF had a blow off. It sounds good. Let's talk about it.
Absolutely. MJF contract talk still happening.
Yeah,
and of course, it wouldn't be complete without the gentleman who is actually, he's always traveling the world. Right now, he is in Las Vegas, Nevada for the Super Bowl. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Chris Burns, how are you, Chris?
Come on. Where else would I be in the world? I was almost at the press conference. I couldn't. I'm sad I couldn't make it because I had other obligations, but oh man, the energy in this town is electric. People talking about the Super Bowl, people talking about WWE.
Yeah.
The AEW wrestlers are all here because they got Collision tonight in Vegas. It's all happening. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
It's the place to be for sure. We are going to get to it, but a quick reminder to everybody: Streamlabs and SuperChats are open. We're back. The band is back together. Send some love. Send some support. What questions, thoughts, and comments do you have? Send them here. The Streamlabs address right above Aaron's head. It's pinned in the chats in the description of the video. Super Chats and Streamlabs are available here because we're on my channel, so that you all know. So send in your love as we go along, and we'll read it or bring it up on the screen here throughout the show. All right, gentlemen, the WrestleMania 40 kickoff show happened just a couple of days ago on the heels of this massive return by The Rock to essentially what looked like on SmackDown take Cody Rhodes' spot against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. This all happened right after the Vince stuff blew up, which I'm sure we'll talk about a couple of weeks ago. And The Rock was named one of the board of directors at TKO Endeavor. Look, just looking at that in a vacuum, the fact that a guy who started a production company called $7 Productions because he only had $7 in his pocket when he came back from Canada and started down this wrestling path, to see him end up being on the board of directors for TKO Endeavor was pretty fantastic. And then it all went to shit as fans went crazy about this and were upset about it, split the fandom, so much so that a lot of us felt they were going to have to pivot here going into this press conference. They all did the hype, but this is going to be the greatest press conference ever. This will be remembered for all time. And we had Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, the returning Big E, and CM Punk, who's about to go into surgery, hosting this show. So let's deal with the initial return of The Rock, Cody stepping aside, and the massive backlash that split the WWE universe. We know it led to Rock's daughter getting death threats, so she left social media. The Rock ended up calling the Cody fans who were coming after him Cody crybabies on Pat McAfee. And John Laurinaitis started singing like a canary, and Brock Lesnar was wiped off the artwork for WWE 2K24 and has been removed from the Raw opening, or SmackDown opening, and LA Knight now has replaced him. So a lot has happened. Aaron, your thoughts on all of this initially before we get to the press conference, how this all went down?
Well, first things first, I was at the Royal Rumble in St. Petersburg, and it was great. Well, the Women's Rumble was great, and then we kind of fell asleep until the end, and that's really nobody's fault. But Jade Cargill, shout out. Jordan Grace as well. Anyway, when we got to the end and Cody won again, the crowd was happy, man. The crowd was pleased. This is what's happening. We're getting there. We're going to finish the story. We're all in the all 40,000 of us are holding each other and crying and happy and excited. Like, yeah, it's going to happen, because he pointed at Roman Reigns and they got mad at each other, and it's great. It's going to happen. And then he comes out on Raw, and Seth is like pitching how like, this is the workers title, and like, it's like, okay, shut up, Seth. And then we go to SmackDown, and then Cody's like, I took counsel, and I'm gonna, he didn't say, first of all, he never said he was giving up his spot.
It seemed like that, right?
Never said that The Rock was going to face Roman Reigns. They never, ever said that.
Interesting. Okay.
On SmackDown or anything. All they did was advertise the press conference. So that was weird. And everybody kind of ran with, The Rock, you son of a bitch, and all this kind of stuff. A lot of people. They had the most disliked YouTube video in WWE history.
Yeah.
Like it was bad for a minute. And then we kind of started getting glimmers of hope that this wasn't going to happen because of the backlash or whatever. Yeah. Raw comes around, and Cody's getting ready to say what he's going to happen. Then Drew McIntyre attacks him, so we never get a definitive answer. So we knew the press conference, or what it ended up being, was just a kickoff show. We knew we were going to get something there.
Right.
And then we'll save that for a minute. But my initial thoughts were, I was very happy, then I was very sad, and then I was very happy again. So that was my initial. I was excited. My wife was telling me to shut up because I was so excited, like to stop talking about it. And I was like, no, I got the WWE shop autographed Rob Schamberger print of Cody. Like I went for it all. So I'm all in on Cody. So Cody has to win. That's as far as I'm concerned. Sorry.
All right. Well, Chris, what were your thoughts? I mean, The Rock. This is something new to The Rock. When The Rock, well, actually, it's not new, should I say. The Rock being a face and being booed by the WWE fans has been a part of his legacy since Rocky Maivia debuted. But to this level where he's coming off, taking some hits off Black Adam. XFL had to merge with the USFL just to stay alive. Young Rock is canceled after 3 seasons. This is a hurt Rock coming back to a place to put salve on his wounds, re-energize, feel the love again from the people. I mean, he rolled out a new Under Armour line the next day after SmackDown, and boom, he gets to be part of the most disliked YouTube video. People are booing him. They're going after him. He has to go on McAfee to call them Cody crybabies. And then we're going to get to the press conference. But what were you, and then of course what happened to his daughter, what were your thoughts when you were seeing all of this happening? Were you shocked by The Rock being rejected by a large section of the WWE universe? Or did you anticipate that this was something, as they claim to be, planned all along? What are your thoughts?
Look, when I hear any of us, when you hear The Rock's intro music, it's ingrained in our DNA.
Yeah, right. Of course.
It just is what it is. Like,
yes. If you're in the arena.
When he took us on that ride so many weeks ago before the Royal Rumble and said, should I sit at the head of the table? Everyone bricked up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just because it was like, well, okay, wait. Like, because what does it all mean is really what I'm getting at, right? I'll say this. I don't like... I'll say I'm more confused by the path that they've taken.
Yes.
But the result is great. It's absolutely great because it's all anyone can talk about.
Yeah.
And that's what you want for your WrestleMania main event, right?
Yeah.
What does it all mean? Okay, Cody's facing The Rock. What role does The Rock play? Is it going to be a triple threat? Is he going to be the referee? Is there going to be a tag match? I have people like hit me up asking me, is Triple H going to wrestle The Rock? No, he isn't, is the answer.
No.
And second of all, I mean, it just feels good to have this speculation again and this like level of excitement, which we have talked about on this show forever and a day. It just hits different, the stardom of the participants of the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
You just don't get stars like that nowadays. I mean, look, we love Roman now. Right. After the 12-year experiment finally worked, we love him. We think this is the best version of him. You're going to tell me he didn't look like second fiddle to The Rock backstage when they were walking?
He did.
He shrunk 10 different sizes in the presence of The Rock.
Yeah.
And it was I mean, it's just undeniable. Like, I mean, he's the guy. You're sort of the guy. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I love where we are in the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's all confusing as shit. It's like, because there's several things that don't make sense, right? It's like, okay, if this was a work all along, then why did Cody say out of his mouth, "I'm coming for you," but not at WrestleMania?
Exactly.
Why did he say that? That doesn't make any sense at all. If it was a pivot, why did Cody win the Rumble?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And all of it just, so at best, it was Cody was the plan. Then they changed it to The Rock. Then when they saw the reaction, they changed it back.
Right.
Which is sort of the blessing of this new regime, because it's like in a Vince McMahon run WWE, not a chance would they have pivoted.
Oh, yeah, no.
You'd be getting Rock, Roman, and that's just what it would be.
Right.
Your feelings be damned. You know what I'm saying? But in a Triple H ran creative, I think they left it malleable like that so that they could pivot if they needed to. Because that fan reaction was what it was. It's like, we want to... the fans who are saying they don't want to see Roman Rock are lying. That's not true. You do want to see that match. You just don't want it at WrestleMania because it doesn't make sense story-wise.
Just not now. Not right now.
Yeah, just not right now.
Right. And so I'm going to be the more negative of the three of us, because I totally respect where both of you are coming from, and I know a lot of the fans feel the way you guys feel. I was more upset. I'll tell you this. I have a complicated relationship because I love The Rock. There's no bigger fan of The Rock. I will fight anybody in any arena. That man has inspired me in so many different ways. My handle is literally at the Rocha says, out of respect for The Rock because of how much I loved him. I used to love him above Stone Cold. I thought he was just the top. It was Hogan, then The Rock. That was basically, there was nobody else in between in my mind, right? But when you hear about the Black Adam stuff and the ego stuff, the fact that he still won't accept that film is not a good movie and that's why it didn't do well. You hear about him throwing his weight around in certain situations, and then you come to a situation like this and it starts to feel like, and you hear the news from like Wrestle Ops and Pro Wrestling Insider, and of course Meltzer, who covers all the angles, plays all the angles. But you hear all these people saying after this stuff goes down at SmackDown that it was The Rock who said, "I'm not coming back to be a director unless I get to main event WrestleMania." And that was the stuff that was getting out there. So you start to go, wait, is the ego even going to come in here? Or is he going to shove someone like Cody aside so he can step in? The other possibility, which I don't know if I can believe, is that these guys planned this the whole time. They knew people were going to boo because he was stepping in front of Cody, the son of a plumber. You get the Hollywood guy coming in to step in front of the hardworking blue-collar guy who wrestled against Seth with a torn pec and took 2 years to prove that he deserved the shot again against Roman Reigns. And so they knew they were going to boo. They knew they were going to react in such a negative way. And then but then you're right. This is the thing to come back to. The logic doesn't make sense. Why have Cody win? He was already over. It was already a big story. Did you really need The Rock to come and elevate this? But then you see all the figures that have come out of the press conference, how many people watch this thing, how the reactions, the social media reactions, and you go, God damn it. Did they stumble into this madness, or did they actually plan this perfectly to a T with the way it went out? So I'm still in the mind of like this. There's no way they anticipated how the fans would react to this level. And then they had to pivot at the press conference to make it seem like Rock was a tweener in a way. So, but we're going to talk about that. Because I was mad, but then, the press conference happened and we'll get into it. So anything more to say on this before we jump into the press conference that we have not covered, gentlemen?
I wanted to bring up something Clarissa said in the chat. I think she's talking about The Rock here. We talked about this in the group chat.
Yes.
When The Rock came back, when Cody kind of did his little step aside, he's in ring shape. So he's slimmed down. He's bulkier. He's slimmed down in frame. So that tells me that The Rock was always going to do something.
Yeah.
Because you can't just... I don't know. A guy like The Rock, I don't know. I don't know how you can cut weight like that. I'm not sure. I'm not a nutrition, obviously not a but I'm just saying, like 2 weeks ago when he was on like First Take, he was bulky, like he did not look like that. So I don't know how fast you can cut that kind of weight or whatever, but yeah, he definitely slimmed down in frame. And I was like, wait a minute, like something's cooking here. Pardon the pun. But yeah, that was something I definitely noticed. And before we actually get into the press conference, I was watching it. I was watching it live. The viewers, it was like 120 to start, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it just kept going up and going up and going up. And then when Cody came out and everything was going nuts, I don't know if it got over 300,000, but it was very close.
Yeah.
To 300,000 people watching it live. That's insane.
Yeah. Right. And so for all my complaints that I say you didn't need The Rock, you can look at the numbers and go, maybe they didn't need them, but they're sure benefiting from it. And so it's a weird place to be when you look at all of it. And I think, Chris, you said it with the confused situation. That's where I'm at on this. I'm a little bit confused on all of it, keeping my mind open, even though I was pretty harsh about the press conference when I watched it the other night in my live watch along. I'm still keeping the mind open on all of this. So let's move on to the press conference and let's talk about what happened there. We had, as I said, Michael Cole, McAfee, Big E, and CM Punk there, kind of getting everybody hyped up, and there was opening banter here. I mean, Michael Cole introduced CM Punk by referencing AJ Lee. What is that all about? McAfee talked about The Rock being on his show. Punk and Big E both supported Cody, and then we got into these wrestler promos. So let's deal with the opening banter. What are we feeling? What do you think was the purpose of all of this? Were these four guys actually telling their truths? Were they being handed talking points to say? Why did Michael Cole mention AJ Lee? Chris, what are your thoughts on the opening banter between these guys here, having CM Punk and Big E be on Cody's side, with McAfee on the Rock side, and Cole kind of in the middle navigating everything?
I think it's one of those blurred line on purpose situations. It's like, look at Logan Paul and Ricochet going online doing the hashtag We Want Cody. Yet no other wrestlers felt like chiming in on the situation.
Calm down, Ricochet. Calm down.
Yeah. So it's like, who are the two safest people probably that you could have comment on this situation? But yet someone so super outspoken online like a Becky Lynch, nothing to say.
Right.
Seth Rollins, who's in the mix of all this, who ended up looking like a massive dork, by the way.
We'll get to that.
In that press conference.
Yeah.
He has nothing to say about it. It's just like, so I think that it's one of those like, oh, make it seem like this is your own thing, blah, 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 blah. And then, work the guys a little bit. Cause they're all collecting a check anyway. They're going to do, you know what I mean? They're going to do what the company tells them to do. You know what I mean? It's wrestling.
Right. What would you think of the opening banter here, and Aaron? And what do you think of the AJ Lee reference? Was that just for fun, or do you think they were trying to maybe say to her, come back? I mean, is Triple H trying to get her back in the women's division?
I think they'll get her back at least once.
Yeah.
For something down the road. CM Punk, I think, because remember CM Punk used to do commentary like when he was hurt there for a while.
Yes.
I think they got to a point where they were like, listen, we know you're hurt. We're paying you way too much money. So you're going to sit your ass in the commentary desk. And I'm glad that they did, because he's great. He's obviously great. And I fully expect him to be on commentary for WrestleMania. Has to be there.
Oh, interesting.
I think he definitely will be. And that'll make it more entertaining. I'm a Punk guy. I've been up and down on him, but I'm with him.
Yeah.
Good to see Big E. Man, I thought,
dude,
I really thought we were going to get him at the Rumble. I didn't know how the neck was going because I hadn't heard anything. I just know that if he did, the roof would have blown off the place because people were really wanting it. So it's always good to see him. And Pat McAfee, I really enjoy. I know you're up and down on him, Rocha. Michael Cole feels like I'm really pivoting on Michael Cole too, because I used to just be like, Michael Cole, stop talking. And now I'm just like, this guy looks like he's having fun. And I like to see it, because Michael
he's
Cole,
reborn with McAfee, man.
Dude, he had Vince in his ear for how long?
Michael
Cole's been in WWE forever, and he's had Vince in his ear every day, day in, day out. Yeah. And now he's just like, oh God, I get to have fun. So that's nice to see. And I think that going forward, it's good to plug in people like that, because we always get the same people at these kickoff shows, which is why I don't watch them. Booker T, love him, but like he's always on there. Peter Rosenberg, no thank you.
Yeah, no thank
Sam
you.
Roberts, no thank you. Like,
agreed.
Jerry the King Lawler was on there for a long time, and a bunch of them. Okay, let's rotate the group. it's
and
good
Kayla,
to
usually it's Kayla.
Well, Kayla's fine, but it's just like these same people, and now they change it up, and it's like, okay, now we're getting some serious people that know, not that Booker T doesn't, for God's sake, but like we're changing the lineup enough to where it feels fresh and it's actually interesting to listen to.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. Good.
Now, I will say my favorite part is Punk saying what needed to be said in giving Bayley some love. God damn it. Like, what the hell is going on? She
not on the banner, not on the WrestleMania banner.
She was, we're going to get to the promos. She didn't even bring her out for the promos.
Or the Royal Rumble banner.
The Rumble.
She wasn't even on the poster.
The main event. Give some love to the GOAT, baby. Let's go.
100%, man. 100%. All right, let's get. I thought the opening match was fine. I was waiting for Punk to, Punk. Punk loves to fuck with shit, man. And I was just like, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? And I wonder if Cole's like, let me just mention AJ Lee. This motherfucker will calm down and I'll do some dumb shit. And I appreciated that. I thought Big E was smooth as hell being there. Like, let's start making Big E the guy. And look, no disrespect to Booker, but I'd love Big E to kind of take that slot there and do his thing and talk about his opinions and all of it, because I thought he was great. I know we want to see him back in the ring, but if he can't get back in the ring, being on the mic is all right with me. I really enjoyed him. And yeah, McAfee was fucking terrible. I'm sorry. I'm just never going to be a McAfee guy. Never going to talk me into being a McAfee guy. I just saw some soccer thing and he completely mispronounced our side of the bracket and how we call. I mean, it's just nuts how much I do not like that guy. And he never works for me. And he comes off just too much of a fan, in my opinion. And it just drives me nuts. But that's me. I know I'm in the minority. So he's got the millions. I do not. Let's move on to the next section here. So let's talk about these promos, which I thought was a bit of a, in my opinion, it felt like a bit of a letdown. I thought we were going to get like confrontations, and I wanted something out of the UFC. Like I wanted somebody going, who the fuck is that guy? You know, with the McGregor moment on the dais. But that's not what we got. We got Triple H coming out, delivering a WrestleMania history lesson just to get people hyped up, and did his Are You Ready? Bianca came out, plugged her show, talked about how she's the EST. She wants her shot at the title. Rhea comes out, delivers her promo, and halfway through, Becky comes out to confront Rhea, big time Bex. And to me, I'm wondering, did they blow the women's Elimination Chamber match by telling you who's going to win it? Then Seth Rollins came out, and we'll go up to the point where Roman comes out and did his thing, made his comments, pushed back on some of Roman's destruction of him that he did in that promo a week ago on SmackDown. But we didn't get Bayley, we didn't get Drew McIntyre, and we didn't get Gunther. So, Aaron, your thoughts on these opening promos and anything what was the point of this, and did it do anything, and did we get anything out of this besides the Rhea and Becky confrontation?
I get why Bianca BelAir was there. She got a show to promote. She's one of the most popular wrestlers in the company. She's wonderful. She's great. Didn't need her. Didn't need her. She's not going to win the chamber.
It seems like she's not. Yeah.
Or maybe she will. I don't know. But we needed Bayley. We need some of that. We need some of that going on. We needed Bayley there.
Yeah.
Rhea comes out, gets like the monster pop of the night before other things happened, and she's a megastar, dude. Like she's, as Dusty Rhodes would say, she's going to be making multi-million-dollar pictures, baby. And then you got Becky coming out, which I guess is like not surprising at all that it's Becky Lynch, because she's arguably the top woman that does not have a title at the moment. So they're kind of setting it up down the road. It felt out of place for that particular moment because Rhea's going against Nia Jax at the Chamber, so it would make more sense if Nia Jax came out. But it also happened on Raw the other day where it was like she's feuding with Nia Jax, but here comes Becky Lynch. And I'm just like, but anyway, it's whatever. Up until we got to the point, I was just like, okay, and next, and next, and next. So.
Yeah, Chris, what do you think? I mean, I don't know if it served any purpose other than filling in the time till you got to the bloodline thing. And they all did promo work. Basically, let's take a trip down memory lane of my career and how great I am. And then the Becky and Rhea confrontation app, which I thought was great. Even Seth came off a little bit like, why do you need to do this? You don't need to take anybody down memory lane. People know what the fuck you're all about. So it seemed a little odd, but what did you think overall of these promos? Anything to take out of this stuff here?
I mean, this is one thing I left out of what we were talking about earlier with The Rock. I just feel like we must remember who the WWE is owned by now, right?
Right.
I don't think TKO, Ari Emanuel, UFC, whatever. I don't think that they know the inner workings of pro wrestling. You know what I mean? I don't think that they really do. Their business is what's the biggest fight we can do right now.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. So their whole thing was, what's our ace? Rock, Roman, Cody, Rhea, Becky, Bianca's got a show. Seth Rollins is the other champion. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of what they threw out there. Bayley gets lost in the mix. Gunther gets lost in the mix. You know, again, and Seth, like I said, he's the other champion, but they got nothing for him.
Oh, I think if they didn't need to bring Seth out there, I feel like they wouldn't have even brought Seth out, Chris.
100%. Yeah. If he didn't have the other world championship, he wouldn't have been there at all. So that's all I think it was. It's like, all right, it's Super Bowl. It's a big deal. It's a lot of eyes going to be on it. Who are our biggest guns? We're going to bring them out.
Yeah.
Damn, what else we got going on storyline wise, because there's all these questions, like you said, Aaron, surrounding these other matches. Who is the Intercontinental? What's the Intercontinental Championship match? We have no idea at WrestleMania. Right. Rhea has a world title defense against someone who is not Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? Becky Lynch has not earned her way into the WrestleMania main event as of yet. So what the hell is that? Like, you know what I mean? And it goes against all of the internal logic of pro wrestling of like, you don't get to just show up and be like, me and you, WrestleMania. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I mean? But, they wanted to show off their biggest stars. They did. They got attention. And it was really filler until, what they were going to do with the bloodline. So, that's really all I took away from it. I agree. Biggie was phenomenal. Punk was hilarious as usual. If that was the commentary team, Punk and Big E, I'm all in.
Right? I'm 100% down for that as well. Okay, let's take a quick break, and on the other side of the break, we are gonna jump into the meat of the press conference here with the Bloodline, The Rock, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and over here on the side, Seth Rollins. We're gonna get into all of that here right after the break. And just a reminder, we got almost 200 of you watching us live. Thank you so much for joining us live. Please make sure you hit a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching later, leave your comments on what we talked about here in the first part of the show. And right after this break, we're going to come back and talk about that Bloodline breakdown and Cody Rhodes. All right, I do that for the podcast version of the show, which appears on the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network. Let's get into this here. All right, this is the segment. Seth introduces Cody Rhodes, but it is Roman Reigns who comes out, interrupts Seth. They have this back and forth, slightly personal banter about, Roman showing up to work, Seth Rollins wearing his wife's shoes, and then Roman shooing him away as he's trying to do his promos and say now how he's going to decide who faces him because Cody can't seem to decide, which is confusing because Cody said he said he's not going to do it at WrestleMania. So it seemed like The Rock was going to do it, but all right. So he says, I want to take on The Rock. The fans start to cheer and boo at the same time. Really interesting. Then we hear The Rock music hit and The Rock comes out. They have an exchange. A PowerPoint presentation is presented by The Rock. And you see The Rock slowly but surely, the fans are turning on The Rock as this segment goes on and on and on. And they have this hug, they have this hand-to-hand thing, and then boom, Cody comes out to kind of stop this shit in its tracks. So let's just stop there, and then we'll get into the Cody stuff. So, Chris, your thoughts on Roman interrupting Seth, and then The Rock thanking the press twice, and then showing the family tree, and then saying, hey, if you think this is the biggest WrestleMania, let me know. And then half of the crowd is booing, or maybe 3/4 of the crowd is booing. So he has to say, well, if you like it or don't like it, this is happening. And then shows the family tree and then has the hug with Roman. And then Cody comes out. Your thoughts on all of this, man?
Again, confusing, but and I took a couple days to process.
Okay.
And I love it. I absolutely love it. Because here's where I will give The Rock a lot of props. And what is being lost in this whole conversation about his motivations and how we got here. Was it him trying to force his way into it? Was it not? Here's what's getting missed. He is the perfect person for this scenario. Because what do we know about The Rock's career in wrestling?
Okay.
Whether the fans like him or not, he's great. You know what I'm saying?
True.
He did not get over as a babyface. He got over not giving a shit what the fans thought about him.
Right.
That's how he got over. And when he was at his height of their support, he turned on them and joined Vince McMahon and became the corporate champion. Only to get over again as the corporate champion as a babyface. And then when he returned after a long hiatus and people were booing him, he embraced it and became Hollywood Rock and had one of the best heel runs of his career. It's like, so he's perfect to play on what side am I on? Am I on the same page with Roman? Am I, just on this ego trip and I want to be the champion? I want to be the head of the table. Or he could totally turn on Roman and side with Cody. And also, we can't forget about the roots of this whole thing, which was when Rock endorsed Roman years ago after he won the Rumble, held his arm up, pointed, and the fans booed like crazy.
Yeah.
All that can play into this. It just adds such a great element that I'm kind of with you, Rocha, where it was like, well, shit, we didn't need this right now. We could have got to Rock later, but it is adding way more than it's taking away, in my opinion. Now, like I said, the mechanism of it all.
Yeah.
Did Cody really insult their family? I don't, you know what I mean? He said,
not quite.
Not quite, right? He said if they were here, they'd be ashamed of you.
Right.
And not ashamed of The Rock, they'd be ashamed of Roman.
Roman.
And Rock took that really personally.
Well, and this is where, and Aaron, of course, will get your thoughts on this. And maybe we should just say the whole segment where Cody comes out, they insult Cody. Roman says, you're as irrelevant as your daddy was, which I even got fucking mad about that.
I got hot about that one.
Yeah, exactly. And then, Cody says he'd be embarrassed. Your grandfather embarrassed. Now, remember, when The Rock was presenting the PowerPoint, he made it a point to specifically mention the two grandfathers of their family. So clearly that groundwork was laid for sure. Yeah. And then they have the banter and Cody gets slapped by The Rock. Cody and Seth, come on the same side, go against The Rock and what have you. And then The Rock confronts Triple H in the back. So Aaron, your thoughts on all of this as it went down and what were you thinking as it was going along? Because my personal belief is that The Rock was a little bit thrown off by the fans reacting because he did all the people are like, oh, he was being a heel. A heel doesn't do all his catchphrases. And The Rock has made it clear when it's not sing along with The Rock when he's a heel. He does not like you to sing along with this shit. He wouldn't have courted the millions and millions of the fans if he was playing a full heel. So I'm in a lot of places with what happened here. What did you think about all of it as it went down?
I'm on Team Burns here. Genius stuff. Like, and it's all about the little things, right? Because you talked about mentioning the grandfathers. Someone, Jared in the chat mentioned that Rock specifically said that the bloodline was the royal family.
Yes, right.
Pro wrestling, it's the only one, and of course, Cody. Right. There's pro wrestling has more than one royal family, of course. And it just The Rock is so good. I don't think I have to tell you that, but let's talk about Roman for just a second. And I know, again, we're not talking about Seth, but we'll get there.
No one was talking about Seth, but yes.
Roman comes out, his music hits, and he's got to the point where it's almost like I don't know if I can even say Brock Lesnar anymore with people going, but it's like when Brock Lesnar's music hits or the glass shatters or something like, business has picked up. Some shit's going down. Like, it's got to that point for Roman Reigns. So when he came out, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then he called it the loser bracket championship, which gives me a laugh. I don't think it's that, but it's funny when he says it.
I like
talking about Seth's pretty funny. And the wife shoes thing is getting to be a little bit stupid. But so then Rock comes out, and he The Rock in real time is turning the crowd. Like he's like, hey, the millions, and people go with it. And then he's like, okay, well, whether you like it or you don't like it, and he was getting into cadence with the what, so he was obviously doing that on purpose to get that in there.
Yeah.
Like the Rock's not an idiot. Like he knows exactly how to manipulate this crowd. And it was great. And of course, then he starts to eclipse Roman, which is bad. We don't want this because Roman has talked for 3 years about, I'm the tribal chief. I'm the one. I'm where everybody else is the twos. We are the ones. That's the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Next to the Rock, he looks like a little bitch. Like he's big brothers here.
Someone said he became Jay to Rock's Roman.
I mean, pretty much. and again, it's the little things because I think that's going to play a role in the future down the road.
Yeah.
And then of course Cody comes out with, I like that they just let it fly during the press conference, and Cody comes out and he goes, this is some bullshit. Very, very Bret Hart of him to say it like that. I appreciated that little touch. And then Cody just, Roman goes for the jugular with the Dusty thing. Like, don't talk about him like that. And then, I'm ashamed. And then The Rock just gets hot all of a sudden for saying that they'd be ashamed. Yeah. And it was weird. And he's like, oh, this is my people. And it's like, motherfucker, we know you got to go promote Moana too. Like, we know you do. Okay, Maui, like, shut up. But I thought that Cody did great. I thought everybody acquitted themselves well. And then poor Seth Rollins is just over here like, I'm important too, guys. Like, I know I'm hurt, but I'm important. And I guess we're getting, in the course of SmackDown last night, we are obviously getting a tag match with Cody and Seth. Let's
not jump ahead yet. We'll get to
but I thought it was great. Well done, master work. I cannot believe they got themselves out of it at this point.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says, and I really don't care what O'Shea Jackson Jr. says. There's no fucking way they planned this out to a T, and this was all completely from the beginning to end exactly what they wanted. And no offense to Ed, who was in the chat, and Ed thinks they planned all this whole thing to a T and beat by beat. No way. I think The Rock was unsettled, but I will give you guys credit. I think The Rock rolled with it. And I think there should have been a better heel turn that hit certain beats that you've known and you've seen before, because it seemed a little clumsy, a little awkward. Why would The Rock be offended if Cody said to Roman, your grandfather would be offended by you and what you did? That's all he said. For The Rock to step up, and I thought that was the mistake. And I know you guys love The Rock and all that shit, so do I. But it's a mistake to have The Rock step in front of your current Universal Champion and slap Cody. It should have been Roman slapping. Now, I know you were trying to get Rock over as a heel here, so you have him slap Cody. I don't believe it was their plan to bring The Rock back and be a heel. I think they wanted him to be a face. They didn't think people would react quite as harshly as Cody being pushed aside, and they thought they could get over with it. Okay, realized they couldn't. Him and Triple H go back in the lab and go, let's just go the heel route. Let's play this out. And then in the back, when we see him confronting Triple H, and that's old bad blood between those guys that was nice to see bubble back up again, and tells him, you better fix this shit or I'm going to knock Cody's teeth out of his fucking mouth or down his throat, rather. And Roman is like, yeah, as he walks by, and you're like, what is going on here? So where we're going is going to be interesting. We'll talk about it. But I do think they kind of stumbled a little bit and then got there eventually. Chris, am I wrong on this? Did they get there? Speak about the Cody stuff, please.
Well, I just had to look it up just because I wanted to make sure I didn't imagine it.
Sure.
4 days ago I refuse to call it X, on Twitter.
So, as do I. Yes, on Twitter.
Cody Rhodes tweeted, appreciate the passion. God bless y'all. Ellipses, but trust me.
Yes.
So if this wasn't the plan, if there was some element of this that wasn't the plan, again, why did he say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is he telling people? I don't remember Daniel Bryan being like, guys, relax. This is going somewhere.
Yeah, right. Relax with the yes chance. We're gonna get there.
It'll be fine.
Because it wasn't the plan. It was not the plan. He knew it was not the plan.
Yeah.
And Cody, I mean, dude, look, Cody is a pro wrestling genius.
Dude.
What he's been able to do, when he was dashing Cody Rhodes, when he got the mustache over, when he got the face mask over, then he leaves and becomes this mega heel in Japan, Bang Bang Gang, of course, and starts AEW, gets over there. It's it's just he's a genius. He knows what he's doing. He's got it from his pops on how to do this thing.
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to believe that once the reaction started happening the way they did, that they made a massive pivot backwards. And it is, I think that, like I said, it doesn't really make sense that Roman did what he did, except for this. I mean, excuse me, that Rock did what he did, except for this. Mm-hmm. I am an ethnic person. And I know how it goes sometimes.
True.
It's like, okay, wait. I don't even care what you just said about my family. I don't like that the words your grandfather came out of your face. I don't even like that just happened. So how about you just be careful before I step into the situation? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't even enjoy that's even in your mouth. So I kind of get it from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But Aaron, you pitched this a super long time ago, where all that needs to happen between Roman and Rock is Roman to be like, hey man, I appreciate us being on the same page. I'm my cousin. I love you. And I'm glad that you're stepping in here against this punk Cody. We're really going to kick his ass. But you acknowledge me.
Yeah, I'm the tribal chief.
You should still acknowledge me. And Rock like, that's hilarious. You know what I mean? And then now you're on. Now you're on.
Yeah.
And now you're and that's really at any point that Roman slightly objects to Rock taking the leadership position here, we're off to the races. Yeah. We're absolutely off to the races. So I think that was done intentionally too. It's just like, The Rock, I mean, again, business pick. Roman had already dropped his mic and was taking his shit off.
Yes.
When Rock audibly drops his mic, everything shifted. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I want to call it a weird, like I said, it's the Brandon Ayuk catch off of the helmet. I didn't plan it that way, but god damn it, it ended up brilliant. You know what I'm saying?
Still works.
Absolutely brilliant. That's the best I got.
Well, and that's the thing at the end of the day. And I people came after me like crazy. Listen, I lost 15 subscribers after I went off on that press conference on the channel because I didn't like it. I went down 100 subscribers on Twitter because I was going after this thing and didn't like it. But I do think we have opened the doors to some interesting possibilities down the road. I still believe I'm right that they pivoted and were embarrassed. They totally made a mistake bringing The Rock back, and they thought he was going to be coming in like on the shoulders of everybody. And when he wasn't, they didn't fucking know what to do. And thank God Triple H was running things, and him and The Rock got in there with maybe a couple other people and hammered out the possibilities of what could happen here. And so now we've got possibilities coming out of this press conference that, Cody versus Roman. What's that going to be like? Is The Rock going to be a guest ref? Do we have, as Aaron was mentioning, are we going to have a tag team match between Seth and Cody versus Roman and Rock at Elimination Chamber or something like that? And then at WrestleMania, if Rock is Rock going to interfere to help Cody, or is it going to be a Mike Tyson WrestleMania 14 situation? Or is The Rock going to once again help Roman defeat Cody so that Rock can go mega heel, that he wants to be the one to defeat Roman, to take his title and to take head of the table status from him all in one swoop at SummerSlam? So there's a lot of possibilities now in play. I'm still right, in my opinion, that it was clumsy and awkward. They stumbled and pivoted, but we got to some interesting stuff at the end. As Chris said, I have also had a couple of days to ponder this and relook at it. I've rewatched the thing like 3 times now and see the possibilities here in that way. But I don't believe people, like I saw a tweet today where a guy laid out like 6 script pages of what he thinks actually went down. I was like, if you've got to add it, that wasn't fucking there. No. If you've got to add that much, it wasn't fucking there. So, Aaron, since you started us down this path, what do you think? Where do you think we go from here? What's the next step? And yeah, Triple H ain't going to wrestle because of his heart condition, but are we heading towards the possibility of even a corporate where it's a corporate situation where it's actually been Triple H and The Rock and Roman the whole time versus Cody? Is Cody the Austin to Triple H's Vince? Where are we going with this?
Well, I think I was reading or watching something, and I think it was Conrad Thompson that mentioned part of the Australia deal for Elimination Chamber was also the people that represent that Perth stadium or whatever said,
yes,
we want The Rock here. Yeah. That's what we want. So I think that's going to be part of it. I think that's where you're going to get it, because Elimination Chamber needs a little juice.
100% needs a little juice.
Because all they've got so far is Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. I think they got Miz and I don't know, some Judgment Day tag team match. Right. And now they've got the men's chamber, which we could talk about later. But it needs a big headliner. It's a big stadium that you have to fill. You know, I was one of the stupid people who's like, well, they'll just do Rock and Roman at Perth. That makes sense. Yeah, right. In retrospect, that's really stupid. But this is the way you get Seth involved to where he doesn't look like a complete jackass. Because he's going to lose that world title. We'll talk about that later. Totally. At WrestleMania. We're definitely going to talk about that. But it gives Seth a moment. Let Rock and Roman beat Cody and like leave him laying, laugh at him. We get the Hollywood Rock theme back. We get to live that one more time.
I love that theme.
Yeah, it's great. So that's probably what's going to happen there. As far as we go to WrestleMania, again, we talked about this in the group chat, and you guys were laughing at me, but overbook it to hell. Like WrestleMania 40, it's a big deal. Let's way overbook it. Let's have The Rock saying he's going to be in Roman Reigns' corner. Hey, buddy, I got you. Bloodline. We're going to be right there with each other. But along the way, we plant seeds of doubt, of course, where it's like, hey, I'm really running the show here. Like this guy, yeah, whatever. Like Roman says that. Cody says, man, I'm outnumbered here. I'm outnumbered, 4-1. I gotta have somebody in my corner. Glass shatters. We get Stone Cold Steve Austin in Cody's corner.
So many people have brought this up.
Let's just overbook it to hell and put Steve Austin in there. And then,
well, might as well get Farouk. You might as well get Farouk.
Might as well.
Guy who got turned on.
Throw him in there. And then all of a sudden, we've got Solo and Jimmy beating down on poor Stone Cold Steve Austin. And then The Rock sees Austin getting beat up. He's like, I can't deal with this. So he goes and beats up Solo and whatever. And then Cody wins, and it's all great. Yeah. The big point that I want everybody to understand is no matter how we get there, as long as it's Cody beating Roman, nothing else matters, pal. It does not fucking matter.
True.
As long as we get to that point, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Chris, what do you predict happens now? Where are we going now all the way to WrestleMania? What do you think happens? Put your booking hat on. People love your booking hat, so please.
I think more or less Rock is going to be in the Tyson role.
Okay. From WrestleMania
14, Tyson was announced as the big enforcer. He joins DX.
Yeah, totally.
So everyone thinks he's pro Sean. Lo and behold, he counts to 3 very quickly, I might add. And yes. And is on Austin's team, and he puts on the Austin 316 shirt at the end. Deck Shawn Michaels. It feels like that's the playbook that we got going on right now. Okay, let's see. Rock is in the middle. Rock joins Bloodline. Rock turns on Roman. You know what I mean? Yeah. What I see happening is because it's so wild how I feel like we've over the course of the last couple years have like predicted all this stuff. I feel like the story that they're still telling is Roman with his family, invincible. As the layers get healed, he's vulnerable. So now, with The Rock stepping in and people deferring to him, I easily see a situation where match is going on, Rock's on the outside as the enforcer. Cody thinks, the odds are stacked against him. Bloodline comes to interfere. Rock holds that hand up. They stop, and he tells them to get the hell away. They all leave. Roman's like, what the fuck is going on? Gets crossroaded. We got a new champion. And then that's how that works out, where now Roman doesn't have his family because they all back to Rock. Yeah. And then now you can get to that Rock-Roman match for control of the family. I think that's, it's not the sexiest of booking. I mean, it's going to be an amazing moment, you know what I mean, when it happens. But I think that's the natural way you get there, because Roman doesn't need the title. Jay versus Roman taught us that, where they made a lay necklace mean way more than the Undisputed Championship. You know what I mean? And that's really all that needs to be between the two of them. You know what I'm saying? And then in that sense, you could almost have The Rock beat Roman. You know what I mean? When they go one-on-one.
Oh no, yeah.
And it starts a new chapter for Roman. You know what I'm saying? Which, as we all know, the end game is to make him a massive babyface, which he will be.
100%.
He finally turns good. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what better way to do it? I think that it's logical, makes sense, gives us a cool moment. As much as I love the glass shattering, that is overbooking.
I know. But could you imagine the pop in Philadelphia if Stone Cold came out and beat up The Rock?
Injecting himself into this.
I mean, if Rock and Stone Cold could go at it one more time outside the ring, the fans would. I mean, there would just be. Dudes would faint. I mean, I'm telling you right now, dudes would fucking faint all over that stadium if it happened. Yeah, I think we're headed towards Cody beating Roman. It has to happen in this situation. I know I see a lot of Roman fans going, "What are you babies gonna do if Roman wins again?" Fine. Cry. What are you guys gonna do if Roman loses with your WWE Roman Reigns body pillows? Are you gonna cry into them into the night? I don't know. Let me know. But I think in the end, I think Cody does beat Roman. I think it has to happen. And I thought he would just go away and then come back as a babyface. But maybe, just maybe, what you were mentioning, Chris, it got me thinking as you were talking, like maybe you're right. Maybe slowly but surely over SmackDown and Raw, little moments where like The Rock is talking to the wise man and Reigns walks in and they just kind of hush up. Or The Rock is talking to the Solo and talking to Jimmy. And so there's little moments where, it seems like, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm just, getting touching base, making sure we're good, just making sure you're all right, big man, making sure you're covered. And Reigns starts to get suspicious and the audience starts to go, fuck, I hate when someone talks shit about me behind my back. And so you start to slowly, subconsciously get the audience liking Roman as a face, like seeing the possibility. And if we lead to that moment, Chris, where The Rock doesn't interfere in a physical way, but actually stops everybody from going, and then Roman's left alone and Cody wins, then you're beginning fully the evolution of Roman into babyface. He faces Rock. Rock defeats him, and maybe Roman goes off into the wilderness for a while, but he comes back as a babyface, having learned the lesson, having swallowed the humble pie, and you can turn Rock into a mega heel. And if The Rock does that for Roman, I think it's one of the most incredibly selfless acts to do for one of your family members. Because remember, as you said earlier, Aaron, Rock is the one that held up Roman's hand and force feed. Or I think Chris said like, this is the guy. I've chosen the guy. Now this is another way of The Rock putting Reigns over even more and sending him into the stratosphere. Another member of his family is for him to become the mega heel and make Roman's become even bigger babyface. That could be incredible. So, as terrible as I felt after the press conference, talking to you guys, I've now become excited at the possibilities, because you could still even go the corporate route where it's been Triple H and The Rock and Roman against Cody the whole time, and you turn Cody into this massive baby face maybe before you get to the Reigns situation, and you just repeat the beats of Stone Cold versus Vince, and you make Cody your just big top guy and see how that goes down. So, there's a lot of possibilities now when coming out of this thing, which is crazy.
The absolute nightmare scenario of WrestleMania was that The Rock beat Roman Reigns
for the title.
That would have been the worst.
I agree.
100%. And another little pinch they put in there, when they was like Rock Roman at the presser, it was like, oh, it's gonna be us. They did the thing. They never said it was gonna be for the title. They just said it was the champion versus the people's champion. They never said it was gonna be for the title, and that would have been an even bigger travesty.
Agreed. Well, before we take another break, let's hit the Seth situation. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to answer your Streamlabs and Super Chats on the other side of the break. So if you got questions you want to ask us, and there's 215 of you joining us right now live, make sure you send in your Streamlabs and Super Chats now. We will answer them after we go into a break, which is in just a few minutes. So I'll go back to you on this one, Chris. Where do we go with Seth? Seth seems like the forgotten man in this whole situation. What is his role going to be about? Is he just going to be the company man and play, be on the side here and let it all play out and lose his title at WrestleMania, or is he got a bigger role to play in all of this?
There was a moment in my spirit where I thought maybe they would go really insane and go Rock Seth.
Oh my God!
There was a moment that I was thinking about that. Look, the Punk thing really, really fudged this up.
Yeah,
really bad.
Jungle Boy.
You know what I'm saying? And it opens a lot of questions up about Punk in general. Like,
true,
dog, why can't you stay healthy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this just over for you? Like, getting in the ring, like you can't seem to go from here to there without tearing something. Something breaks apart, and they can't rely on you anymore. You know what I mean? It's just really. It really sucks, but as much as I love the guy, it just sucks.
It's true.
So I'm looking at, the list of participants, right? It's like because they did the Elimination Chamber, qualifying matches on SmackDown, and it looks very much like Drew McIntyre is going to be the guy. Because and props to Drew, his mic work over the past 2-3 weeks. I didn't know he had it in it.
Please.
You know what I'm saying?
His social media work has been incredible. Yeah,
absolutely. When he said to Punk's face, I'm so glad this happened to you. Like, I prayed about this and it came true.
Amazing.
Unbelievably great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is what I can honestly see happening, because I'm starting to also think that Seth is hurt. Like, I don't think Seth's going to be ready.
Interesting. Right.
I'm really starting to feel that way. It just seems like he's not going to be ready. And I think that he's going to get squashed by Drew at Mania. And then I think Drew's going to get cashed in on. By
Damian Priest.
By Priest. And Priest is going to walk away with the title.
Senor Moneybank.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I've liked Drew's social media. Yeah, you're right to call this out, Joshua. Yeah, I did say this. Rocha was talking shit about Drew. I did. I would have not been a Drew fan. I think the best thing that happened to him was the CM Punk injury, because he has gone next level with that shit, with the social media and what have you. And as Chris said, the last few weeks, him being on the mic, he has been reborn, because he's kind of been forgotten since Clash of the Castle. Like, that was an incredible match. I give him his props. You can watch the watch along. It's on the channel. I absolutely gave him his props, right, as I was watching that match. But I haven't really enjoyed him the last few months, as the guy's been like, oh, hey, me too. Hey, me too. It's been that kind of thing, and it's been annoying. The Punk injury has given him new life. And now we're seeing, that whole, him using that picture of him at that meme, putting himself as, it's genius. It's genius. So it's the smart ones who take advantage of the moments and are cool, like crossing the lines. And I'm sure this is all being talked about with Punk. And I'm sure Punk's loving it, because eventually it's going to be Punk, if he can stay, healthy, as you said, Chris, who's going to come back and beat Drew, possibly for the title. So we'll see that down the road for sure. So, yeah. And with Seth, if he is legitimately hurt, then, yeah. But what do you do with Gunther now if you've got Seth, if you've got Drew beating Seth? Where's Gunther in all of this? Is he going to be just fighting Jay at WrestleMania? That seems kind of a letdown match for Gunther, doesn't it?
No.
Okay. All right.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that far. It's got to be the brothers at WrestleMania. I just don't see.
Oh, Jay and Jimmy. Jay versus Jimmy.
Yeah. Look, because people have kind of like speculated that match, and then I've heard a lot of, do we really want it? Then when everyone saw them face to face in the Rumble, everyone was like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it's gonna be great. And it's a lot different than a lot of old, like, tag team part, because even Sean and Jannetty, when they finally went one-on-one, wasn't that climactic. You know what I mean? But like, this has so much to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that you got Trinity back, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah, it's great to see
he
her
can
back.
get in the mix. There's all sorts of things that you could do with brother versus brother. So I almost feel like Jay might beat Gunther. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then the brother versus brothers for the IC title.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because I do think eventually Gunther is going to be Cody's nemesis.
Oh,
I think that's where we're going down the line.
Cody. Cody's going to be Gunther's nemesis. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. We're setting that up. We it looks like we lost Aaron for a second. I'm sure he'll be back when his computer boots up or what have you. But yeah, I agree with that. I think that could be possible. Now, what do we do with Bayley, man? This is your girl. What's the next Bayley step? We had Dakota Kai last night come in and kind of clumsily and awkwardly be on her side against the three ladies there from the other three ladies of Damage Control. Do you think that's a true thing, or do you think that's setting up to be an even more brutal betrayal that Dakota lures her back in for a final stab in the heart? What do you think?
I won't be able to take it if they do that to Bayley. I won't be able to take it. Her face when she was standing by the door after they walked out of the locker room, it filled me with, because she has wanted Damage Control to succeed like more than anything. And we kept asking, like, why does Bayley keep taking the pins? Yeah. Why is she bumping so much in all these matches? Why does she keep taking these ridiculous, like, you know, these really hard falls and like falling on chairs and ladders and all this other type of shit? Like, why is she the one that keeps being the sacrifice for the other girls? And it's like, you talk about selfless acts. Bayley don't got to do that.
No,
Bayley's a multi-time champion. Bayley's
already said.
I've gone on record. I think Bayley is the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I really, truly do. She started off in a gimmick that people said was a trap.
Yes.
Like, oh, she's trapped in this gimmick. Yep. She'll never be able to be a heel. She'll never be able to get past a certain ceiling, blah, 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 blah. A lot like they said, like Toni Storm. Like, that character just is what it is. It's never going to evolve. She cuts the hair. She goes emo. She carries the women's division on her back for an entire year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then she's gone into and then she goes away for a little bit after a bad injury, comes back with Damage Control. We thought that was dead in the water.
Yeah.
And then that ends up working. You know what I'm saying? It's like Bayley she's just the best. She's just the best. Yeah. And she won the Rumble, but they still haven't fully rewarded her for being the best. And it feels unfair if she doesn't beat, you know what I'm saying? If she doesn't beat Io for the title, it feels unfair if Dakota's a double agent, especially if they don't have Sasha. Like,
which it seems like she's not going to.
Mercedes makes this horrible decision and goes to AEW, which it seems like she's going to.
So dumb. Yeah.
Then you can't, like, it would just suck to have Dakota be still on the side of Damage Control. I think you got to crown Bayley at Mania. I think you got to give her that moment.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Aaron? I know you dropped out, but what I asked Chris, I want to hear your thoughts on what you think is going to happen with Bayley. We saw last night on SmackDown Dakota Kai coming in essence, saying that she believes in Bayley. She's always been by Bayley's side. And, you ghosted me. Why haven't you? Oh, I had to meet the doctor last week. I couldn't be here, blah, blah, blah. Do you think, as someone pointed out, which I had never thought, do you think that Dakota has been the mastermind behind? I mean, remember when she turned on Tegan,
it was bad.
No one saw that coming. So do you think she is the mastermind and she has waited for one final moment to stab Bayley through the heart, through the back into the heart, and take her out here of damage and take over Damage Control? What are your thoughts on this? Or is she going to stay on Bayley's side?
Is Dakota Kai part of do people think this because Dakota Kai's ring name is Kai and it's Asian? Like she's just in the group because it's Kai? Anyway, I think the opposite, actually. I think that Dakota Kai will help Bayley win. I think that she will help fend off the other two or other three. And I mean, side note, I think that people are very wrong about Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Facing each other.
Not this WrestleMania. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I think we're getting them as a tag team, and I think they're going to beat Asuka and Kairi Sane. And it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, you know, I like to overbook. But anyway, Chris said all the right things. Bayley's amazing. She's been great. She was the COVID era MVP.
Yeah.
The stuff with Michael Cole is even funny. How did you make a rivalry with Michael Cole work? Ding dong hello, it works.
Yep.
She makes everything work. And it really did upset me when they were interviewing her after she had won the Rumble, and she was like, you know, I'm not even on the poster. I'm not even in any of the advertisements. And I won the Royal Rumble. So I guess I just have more to prove. And I was like, oh my God. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I've said it since she was in NXT, and I saw her in a 50-seat armory in Florida. She is bar none the single best technical women's wrestler in the business.
I agree.
I would put her up against anybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who you think is this or that. She is incredible. And the other three horsewomen, Sasha and Charlotte and Becky, have all got their moments.
True.
Charlotte's had a million. You know, Becky Lynch got her big moment a couple WrestleManias ago. You know, Sasha's had hers as well. Where's Bayley's moment, man? Like, where was her moment? Like, this is her moment.
Yeah. It was just the NXT Brooklyn, that to take over at Brooklyn.
Well,
that was the moment, but not at WrestleMania, right?
Not at WrestleMania. Arguably the best women's match of all time.
100%.
Just
top 10. Period.
It's really time to reward that, because, and I'm going to say this, and you guys can debate this if you want, but those four horsewomen, the Charlotte, Bayley, Sasha, Becky, their time is winding down.
100%, bro.
Like it's 100%. Coming to an end. Yes. And I think that this is like the biggest, like this is Bayley's like big, like this is going to be great. As far as the rest of it goes, I think Io Sky, as great as she is, I think she's one of the best in the world as well. Pretty mid run with that title.
Yeah.
I know people were really hoping she would beat Bianca at like Backlash or something. Like people were really over for her. And when she finally did, it was like, okay, fine. But Bayley as champion really fits. And I think it's time. I think we're going to see a lot of title changes at WrestleMania. I know you guys probably talked about Drew and Seth while my computer decided to do an update.
Yeah. What do you thought?
I think Drew has to, same way Chris is saying, it has to be quick. And I think Drew's going to beat Seth. I am, because you have to. He's been so good. Like, you have to reward him with this.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that is just that's just fantastic.
Dude, he put up a tweet about his shirt that said, "I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money," to advertise his shirt. Fucking incredible. And you got to reward that. And I think that CM Punk will be on commentary when it happens. Drew wins, takes the title, like stands on the commentary desk and says, "What's this, like, bitch," or something like that. I don't think Priest cashes in on him then.
Ooh.
But I think maybe the next night or something where Punk gets involved and screws Drew or something. But Priest has got to cash it in. He doesn't have to win, but he's got to cash it in.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, man, you got to give Bayley her due, because it's time. It really is.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, you're seeing Bianca, you're seeing Rhea, Jade's coming in now. I mean, those ladies are pretty much putting the boot to the four horsewomen and moving them out, which is crazy to think about, because it seems like
Tiffany
yesterday
Stratton.
They got it. Yeah, Tiffany Stratton. It just seems like yesterday they got there. And let me tell you something. Everybody in the motherfucking men's locker room better be scared out of their fucking minds once Braun Breaker officially goes to the main roster. You better just give him all the goddamn belts at once. I'm telling you, I see a future where Braun has all the belts at the same goddamn time. And I've never felt that anybody could do that in many, many, many years. And I just think he is the one. Just watching his spot at Royal Rumble, I was like, Jesus, Mary, Mother of God. I don't know if anybody's ever delivered a spear. There's like maybe one or two people who ever delivered a spear with the level of ferocity that son of a bitch can generate in a limited amount of space. It is scary to watch him, dude. He has all the fucking tools and then some. Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
So, John, do you think then, I mean, essentially they gave Braun what was going to be Lesnar's role in the Rumble. And I guess it was going to be Lesnar, Gunther, and Mania. Do you just pull the trigger?
Got to. I think you got to.
And Braun, Gunther?
Over Jay and anyone else they want to line up against Gunther, 100%. Because look, even if Gunther wins, Braun's going to give you one hell of a fucking match. And so by the end, the audience that maybe doesn't watch NXT, and you know that's true, will be all behind Braun Breaker and seeing what comes next. But then you got to make him go to the main roster. You can't send him back down to NXT anymore. You know, Trick and Carmelo are doing their thing now. Yeah, they're fine. Braun can go. And so I think that's the smart move, to be honest with you. Because I know Grayson and Cameron were fine, but no, it's Braun that's going to come in and fucking just shock the world, man. If he can stay healthy. So, yeah, I think absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, can
we talk about that for just a hot second?
Sure.
Can we talk about Carmelo and Trick for just a second?
What a great betrayal, man. Go ahead.
Dude, Shawn Michaels, this son of a bitch. I tell you what, like, first of all, he redoes the barbershop through the window with Gigi and JC.
Yes, he did.
He redid it. And I don't know if you guys caught this I don't know if you guys like keep up with NXT, but I watch it every week.
Mm-hmm.
They did the fucking with Chase U, like all that stuff that's going on, how they got like defunded and all that. It's dumb, but it's funny. They did the Leave the Memories Alone, which was when Owen Hart kicked Shawn Michaels in the head, like they played that music video.
Yeah.
And then this week, Carmelo plays Trick Williams music. People go fucking crazy. Another Shawn Michaels bit because he did that with Bret Hart's music.
Yeah,
this son of a bitch, Shawn Michaels. I tell you what, man. Like between like the hiring of Nikita Lyons and like Jada Parker and Lola Vice and all these people, I'm like, Shawn is that guy. But Trick Williams, man, like, wow, just wow. And I think, with him, you either what's going to suck is when he comes to the main roster and he doesn't have Booker T, because that is such a big part of it. Like it or not, it is such a big part of Trick that Booker T does that thing within his song. It's so fun, and everybody can jive with it. It's so, I love it, and but Trick Williams became the guy. Carmelo was always the guy.
Yeah,
he is him. And now Trick became the guy. So Carmelo, in a sense, was smart enough to know, or the WWE is smart enough to know that, Melo's good, but he's also going to bring Trick with him. He brought Trick up with him. Right. It's such good stuff. It's and I can't wait till Trick beats his ass. Cannot wait.
I'll go one step further. This is Diesel coming out and overshadowing Shawn with what Trick is doing with Carmella. So even indirectly, you can see shades of this in the Shawn Michaels situation. What did you think about all this when it went down with Carmelo and Trick? Chris, what are your thoughts of what Aaron said as well?
I mean, look, we've been Carmelo Hayes truthers on this show for quite some time.
Love that Trick.
And when he went out as so far as to wear the Shawn Michaels leather jacket.
He did
from the barbershop segment. Like that was, I'm just like, yo, this is Shawn is having his guys cosplay his career over and over again, and it's working. It's just like
good, such good shit.
It's just phenomenal. It's just utterly phenomenal. Because where else are you gonna do it?
Yeah,
in NXT. Where else are you gonna do it?
Right.
It blows my mind every single day that they got him up off the couch in a place where he seemingly did not want to really be involved in pro wrestling like that.
Yeah.
And has turned this thing around. I mean, NXT 2.0 is a phantom of the past. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a banger show.
Of like times forgot. Like we were just like, oh no, they took the black and gold brand and turned it into this colorful thing, and with these amateurs who can't really wrestle. And Shawn takes it over, and it's a viable brand again. Yeah. It's just the portrayal was great because who would have seen? We thought Trick Williams was the number 2. Yeah, now he's the 1A. You know what I mean? And when they lock up, it's going to be incredible, as we know it's going to be. and then they're going to move on to the main roster, and I'm praying that they don't go the way of the DIY.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
No.
I just think they got so much more talent in them, like, and charisma also.
I think if Vince was booking, DIY is a possibility. But with Vince not booking Triple H and all these people involved, I think they see exactly how to make money off these guys and where to put them in the run. And as I said, these guys that we're talking about now, get ready. They're going to get shoved out of the way. Braun, Carmelo, Trick, they're going to come in. And guys like AJ Styles, I think are going to be
whoa.
You, surplus to needs. They're going to be surplus to needs. People like the youth, man. That's how it works. And I hate to. And look, Randy looked rough against Sammy, man. There's some things wrong with Randy. My brother's got to go and lay down for a little while. No offense. You've done great work, generate decades of great work for WWE, brother. Lay down the weapons, man. You're all right now. I can't see that again, dude.
I will say this, though. I mean, as much as I love Braun main roster where he belongs, Wolf Dogs was awesome.
It was dope. It was dope.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
Braun Breaker just being a clown.
Who was to think Baron Corbin was going to be an amazing tag team wrestler with Braun Breaker? Yeah. If that was on your bingo card for 2024, you, sir, need to play the lottery, put it all on hard 12 at the craps table. You need all of it. You need to make it all happen. Unreal.
Oh, God, I lost it as you were talking. Damn it. I had one more thing to say about. Oh, yes, Chris. Sting is a tag team champion, son. I mean,
He's a champion in AEW. Chris called it years ago.
Chris called it. He is officially a belt holder at AEW and was throwing himself off the fucking, the side of the stadium onto people out of the stands. That fucking old man can still do it at 60-something years old. Crazy.
Unreal. Absolutely real. I mean, I almost feel like we got to do a follow-up show to talk about what the hell the state of affairs in AEW.
Is it bad? Is it bad over there? Like, what's going on?
Is it bad?
Don't know. Haven't watched. Couldn't tell you. Is CM Punk still there? Is Daniel Bryan still wrestling on the reg? Like, how's that going?
Swerve though. Yes, Swerve's out here trying to defend the honor of AEW, bro.
Did you guys catch the shade from Cody when he won the Rumble?
Please.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic.
How about CM Punk?
McKinney and to the Bucks.
Yeah, he did that last time. He did that the last time he won too.
How about CM Punk saying, "I know guys with man buns are not always attached to men." I mean, that was a shot right there. Come on.
And he said, "What?" He's like, "What happens when someone gets in your face? You punch him in the mouth." Like, that's what I do. It's like, yeah, we know.
That's exactly.
We know, Phil. We know, but yeah, he did the thing at the first Rumble, and he said that documentary. It was actually a tribute to them.
Well, I don't take it that way.
Also, I love the shot at the end of the press conference with the Kickoff Show, whatever they want to call it. Punk talking shit about The Rock as The Rock is on stage right behind him and can totally hear him.
And he's just like,
see The Rock going, "What the fuck? Let's go." It was brilliant, dude. Brilliant. As I would love Punk versus The Rock one more goddamn time if you can stay healthy. That would be fun to see. Like, bury it once and for all between those guys would be great.
I am going to need you to pull back on the shade on AJ Styles. Like, excuse me?
Come on. Dude. I the other day I was watching him from TNA in like the early 2000s, brother. He's done the work.
He's still got it, bro. He's still got it.
He's got AEW got it. He ain't got WWE.
There are two people that wrestle somewhat consistently since the WCW days. I guess you could put Dustin Rhodes as the third.
Sure.
Sting and AJ Styles. Which one is better?
I don't know. I can
right now.
I would go. I would still say Sting, but all right.
If AJ Styles, if they pushed AJ in a prominent role any given night on planet Earth,
sure, right.
AJ Styles could be the best wrestler in the world.
It's true,
and I still believe that until he dies.
As long as they don't test him after the matches, I think he'll be fine.
I didn't say anything about the gas. I'm not talking about the gas, but it's like, I'm glad that Triple H finally realized that Gallows and Anderson are absolutely worthless.
Yeah, true.
And they're
whoa. What? How do we go from start throwing shade on AJ to just giving straight shots to the Good Brothers? Like, what are we doing?
They're terrible. They are useless.
You're coming for the Bullet. What are you doing coming for the Bullet Club? You can't come for the Bullet Club.
Let's not even talk about how Jay White went.
Oh well.
Let's not even talk about that. You got the fucking Acclaimed in the Bullet Club now. Give me a fucking break.
They're not in the Bullet Club. It's the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Okay, that's a different. I don't have to keep
feels the
saying
same.
to you that there's different things out there. Not everything is Bullet Club just because they hang out sometimes.
Listen,
okay?
I heard you showed us the picture with you and what's Colt or not the other gun, Austin Gunn. We've seen it. I know you have pictures with Anthony Bowens and Max Caster. Let's see them. They're in the group.
I haven't been a part of any of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang hangs yet. Okay, I've been on the road. I've been traveling. Who knows? When the guys come in town today, maybe we'll see what happens. But just relax. Okay, there's still a line. All right,
some scissoring for later. Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
I've been trying to take a break for 20 minutes so that we get to Streamlabs and Super Chats. No, this is fun. I'm loving this. But all right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into your Streamlabs and Super Chats. If you want to send them in now. We're going to answer them all as we go through here right after the break, right after this. All right, let's get into it here. Let's hit some of these. Let's hit all of these Streamlabs and Super Chats. People who have sent stuff in here. Julian Ramos says, the joy I had when Punk came back is how I feel seeing you guys again. Welcome back, gentlemen. Oh, thanks, Julian. That's very kind.
Yeah. That means a lot.
What did you guys think when Punk came back? Were you guys excited? Great moment, right? You guys had a lot of fun with that one, didn't you?
All I could think was checkmate AEW. Like that's literally all I said. That's all my friend. I was just like, okay, that's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like just absolutely done.
It's crazy. Both of them came back, Cody and CM Punk, and got bigger than ever, leaving AEW. That is crazy. Crazy to think about. SJ63. Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
Whoa.
Sorry.
As glad as I was to see CM Punk back, I was very happy to see it. The biggest pop return of the night for me, was R-Truth.
Oh, yeah,
man, and he's been just R-Truth another level, amazing.
R-Truth's vignettes, the video he did where we see Judgment Day as babies. Let me tell you something right now. I fucking laughed for 20 minutes just staring at that picture because of the genius behind it. I know people are like, oh, Sami Zayn did. Nah. R-Truth went black box theater next level with this madness, and it's genius what he's doing. And it seems effortless. He's just so goddamn smart and funny in what he does there, man. It's genius. Just genius.
I love that Tom and Nick Mysterio.
Oh, come on.
He got a hot tag in a Royal Rumble match after already having an amazing spot in the women's Rumble match.
That was great.
Tell me they're all women in there, and just Hall of Famer. Hall of
100%.
Shout out to continuity because it was the same number in the women's and the men's. So shout out to continuity there. But like anytime he goes up to Damian Priest, it's like, "What's up, DP?" Like it's just. He's like, oh, you guys beat me up. I get it. That was the pre-initiation, and now that was the real initiation. And Damian Priest is just so frustrated. He's just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Just hang out, I guess.
Yeah, it's working out. And I mean, Tom and Nick, he got a shirt out of it.
Several shirts.
So good.
Live, laugh, love. Judgment Day is great. That's so good.
SJC360 says, happy the triangle offense is back for today. That's right. Thank you so much.
Man, we run the veer up in this bitch.
Scotty. Francisco Lopez says, hey guys, I know this is a special, but I'm happy to see you guys. I miss the strong style so much. Wish it was back as a weekly show again. Hey, thank you very much. And I was very lucky that these two guys had time today to do it because I really wanted to talk with them about it. Thank you, Francisco. Connor Pearson Ward says, I think the plan was Cody Roman until Punk got hurt, so they brought The Rock in, but the backlash was too much, so they needed to pivot.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree. Francisco also says, hey, Chris and Aaron, what are your thoughts on CM Punk's return to WWE, a place we thought he will never return to? Also, the thoughts on Sasha Banks to AEW. So, gentlemen, let's talk about both. I know you both chimed in on CM Punk. If you need to add more on that, please feel free. But the Sasha Banks thing looks like it's happening. Someone put up Boston with the boss with the cash symbol. So, thoughts on all of this?
The last thing I'll say about CM Punk is that there's a lot of talk that he's super active in NXT.
Yeah.
So maybe all of the praise doesn't just go to Shawn Michaels, but I mean, look, for all you want to say about Punk, his mind for the business is incredible also. Yeah. So him sort of playing the Paul Heyman role that Paul played in his life, and now he's playing that role in the lives of a lot of these other up and comers is a great way for him to give back to the business. So if that ends up being where Punk, stakes his claim after he hangs up the boots, fantastic that he's back, because how are you going to do that in AEW? You know what I mean? There's no developmental system to speak of really in that company. So, and it shows. So, as far as Sasha Banks, she just seems hell-bent on making improper decisions. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just really... She's perfect for this Dakota Kai role what's happening in the Damage Control story.
Oh, my God.
She is what should be happening. You know what I mean? I got no one left. I started this thing. I created this monster. It's turned on me. Who am I going to turn to? Charlotte's gone. Becky's preoccupied. I got nobody that has my back. Boom, Sasha Banks comes back. Come on now. That you can't write that any better. I'm pretty sure that that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But instead, you got to go off, play in Japan, which amounted to nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And now you're going to sign with AEW where, I mean, I think the best thing going in women's wrestling right now is Toni Storm, but everything else is a mess. Everything else is a mess. Yeah. And if they job out Deonna Purrazzo to Toni also, because it's not time to take the belt off of Toni, in my opinion.
Right.
So either way, you're damned if you do. Why put them in a program immediately?
Yeah.
I don't get it. So usually I would say where there's a vacuum, there's opportunity, but not in the AEW women's division.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Britt Baker's going to be back soon, and then that's wrap for all of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Tony's favorite, Britt's going to take all. It's true. Aaron, your thoughts on Sasha going to AEW? Is this a bad move, man? I mean, this is a Saraya move, not a Sasha move. It makes no sense unless you can make sense of it.
I think that she saw the landscape of WWE that we were talking about, right? The four horsewomen are kind of on the way out. We've got a new crop. The NXT women's division, as it stands today, is the deepest division in wrestling, truly. And I think she sees people like a Tiffany Stratton, or she sees a Lyra Valkyria or a Roxanne Perez, or to a lesser extent, like a Cora Jade. And she's like, man, they're like 10 years younger. They're going to get pushed more. They're going to be within the system. And I'm not going to be in this system anymore. I want to do my own thing. And she saw AEW and she was like, well, I can work with this. I can work with these people. I can do other things. I don't have to go on the road 500 or 300 days a week or 200 days a year. I can, rest myself. Maybe I can do a Mandalorian. Maybe I can do a show. I don't have to worry about that in WWE, like trying to hold up to their kind of standards. But it is different now in WWE. I feel like it's maybe, I don't know. But Naomi came back. She got a great pop.
She did, yeah.
She's great.
She'll be in the Elimination Chamber match, I think.
I think you got to put her in there. She's great. The thing about the AEW women's division is that there's like no continuity. Like people come and go. And it's like Britt was here 1 week and now she hasn't been around since like October.
Right.
But she's not hurt. So it's like, what the fuck is she doing?
Right.
And then Sheeta's the champion, and then she's not the champion. Then she's a champion again. Then Toni Storm's the champion. Then Sheeta's the champion. Then Toni Storm is the champion again.
Right.
Then we give it to Saraya for a day. Then Toni Storm is the champion again. And she's doing the timeless Toni Storm bit, and that's going to run its course eventually. It's getting close.
Yeah, it's like the what are the guys in NXT? They were the What the fuck was
the vaudevillian? The
Vaudevillians, yeah, with Alex.
Great.
Yeah.
That was great in its time. But
Yeah.
when she said she was going to sock Deonna Purrazzo in her box, that really got me, cracked me up. But it's like, you bring in Deonna Purrazzo, which great for her. I think that was probably the right move for Deonna because she's really good. But we know she's not going to beat Toni Storm. She just got there.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. And then you're doing this weird thing with Taya Valkyrie where she was pushed and now she's a jobber and it's weird. It's like, how many top women in AEW are there?
Yeah.
So I'm just waiting for Jamie Hayter to come back at this point. Good luck.
And I wonder if this is also, because Sasha can sometimes, as you said, Chris, she's cursed for making bad decisions, but sometimes these things work out for her. Because what if Sasha goes to CM Punk and Cody Rhodes route, where she does AEW for like a year and people are seeing her again consistently on TV, watching the highlights, whatever. And then we get to a year down the road and there's a possibility for a jump. She gets involved in some storyline with WWE and she becomes even bigger than ever, and they're never going to pay her what they pay Charlotte, it seems like, because what you saw some of the reports saying that was what she asked for more than what Charlotte was getting, which I think is kind of crazy. But maybe in another way, she'll make money if the AEW thing turns out for her to revitalize her and get people back wanting her to be in WWE. So who knows? It could work out in that way. But I hate the decision. I
kind of feel like that's the problem, right? It's like Punk and Cody are guys who get over wherever the hell they are. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
Sasha Banks is such a WWE product. Much like Paige was.
Saraya, yeah.
Much like Ruby Riott and all these other people who made the jump over, and it's like they were a big deal for a week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I think Sasha's a cut above all those people.
Yeah.
And I still hold fast that most of the Four Horsewomen's best matches are all against Sasha Banks. But her mic skills, after all these years, are still not there.
Yeah.
Which is a huge component of it.
Agreed.
And
what the hell was that?
Did a thumbs up just show up with me? What the? That was very bizarre.
That was odd.
Yeah. It happens on these. It's happening on these new updates that they've been doing on these Apple products, man. It's crazy.
I was say, are you guys seeing my inner monologue?
Yeah.
Great job, Chris.
But so if you can't get on that stick and get the people behind you, and you're just hoping that your in-ring work is what's going to get it done, which is what AEW has always thought was going to make them a competitor with WWE. That's not how pro wrestling works.
Yeah.
Not how pro wrestling works.
That's a good point. Good point. Let's see. Gramash says, hey guys, I missed you. You know me, so I have to ask about Darby and Sting winning tag titles. What are your takes on the match and the end of Sting's career?
Oh boy.
Whoever wants to take it, take it, please.
I hate the idea of Sting's last match, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Versus the fucking Young Bucks.
Oh, yeah, I know, man.
What a joke.
Those guys.
And what a joke they have become.
Yep.
You want to talk about Cody and Punk and whatever, and even to a lesser extent, Brian Pillman Jr. Leaving AEW and doing great things. What the fuck happened to these guys? Like, not only do they have go away heat with me, it feels like these guys, Jericho, like nobody cares about them anymore. Like we're moving on. Like we don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They want guys like Ricky Starks and Swerve and Darby and MJF, and I don't know what's going on with Adam Cole and that groupie. That's kind of fucking fell apart.
That was
what a disaster. But it just, I would rather, and I am not joking, I would rather watch Sting's last match be against Ric fucking Flair than I would the Young Bucks. I'd rather them wheel out poor Lex Luger in a tag match than watch him face the Young Bucks, because their style is not complementary to Sting's current style.
Right.
So if you're going to do that, if you're going to do a tag match and people are going to say, well, duh, just do it against FTR. Two guys that can take care of Sting, that know what they're doing, that do that North Carolina Jim Crockett promotion style of wrestling that they want to see anyway.
Yeah.
They don't, this crowd that they're going to do Revolution in front of, is a lot of old school fans. They don't want to see the flips and all that stuff. Yes, people do want to see that, but a lot of that crowd is not going to want to see it. So why not give them some old school stuff? It sucks.
That's what my fear is that they're going to have Darby get an injury and Ric Flair comes in to team with Sting against the Young Bucks. That's my biggest fear. And that would be the end of AEW in my opinion. KW says, just sending some. Oh, do you want to say anything more on that, Chris? Or are you good?
Yeah, Sting going out in a tag match. I get why they're doing it, but at the same time, it's like, if he's diving off on cars and all kind of, craziness, it's like, even if they go Undertaker route and do a cinematic goodbye match, you know what I mean? Like, do it that way. Like, I don't. The Young Bucks have no place in Sting's legacy, career, nothing. So the fact that they want to be his send-off match, I don't get it at all. It lowers the stakes for me. It's just the wrong decision. It's just the wrong decision.
And he's got to lose.
Yeah,
he's got to lose.
It shines the Bucks more than it shines Sting, which is not good. KW says, just sending some love, guys. Good to see you guys on. But man, is it me or have WWE been burying Seth in that world title the past few weeks? Good grief. Also, do you think The Rock should come out to the corporation theme, to his corporation theme? Oh, I didn't even think about the corporation theme. That could be funny. What do you guys think? Are they? We talked about Seth a little bit. Are they burying the world title? Is this the danger with the world title? I mean, we've seen this before. People do promos and they inadvertently destroy someone's push or a thing you're trying to elevate by mentioning it. Did Rollins destroy the world championship belt by essentially calling it second place?
I mean, yeah, it is second place. It's just like, when he cut that promo about like, this is the Dusty Rhodes, everyone just a collective eye roll of like, no, it isn't. Literally, the story is that the WWE Championship, which is held by Roman Reigns, was handed to Dusty and then taken away in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
You don't get to call another belt the Dusty Rhodes title because it's the workhorse title or whatever the fuck it is. Because again, what did I just say? Work rate and in-ring, action is not what gets over in pro wrestling. It just isn't. You know what I mean? It does to a certain segment of fan. Ring work plus great story is what gets things over. There has not been a great World Heavyweight Championship story since Seth won it. It's just, he's the guy. Look at him defend the title over and over again. We've done that before. You know what I'm saying? John Cena did that with the U.S. Open Challenge and got that belt over way more than the current World Heavyweight Championship.
That's true.
And also the explanation for it was a load of bull crap where it's like, well, no one could seemingly beat Roman, so we have to have this title. It's like, what? You know what the company thinks about that belt by the fact that Roman's title is still called the undisputed WWE Championship.
100%. 100%.
What are we talking about?
Right. What are your thoughts on this, Aaron? Anything to add?
Oh man, when he called it the Losers Bracket Championship, I was dying. I really was dying.
Me too.
Jared Dyer hits it right on the head for me. So the story with Finn Balor in the world title was good, and Finn should have absolutely beat him. Yes. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That just told me they don't believe in Finn as a top guy anymore. And that's very sad.
It's true. It's obvious.
Yeah, it is. The worker title is the Intercontinental Championship. It's not the World Heavyweight title. Now, back when Triple H and Lesnar were holding those titles respectively, they were on equal footing.
Yeah.
Because it was essentially the big gold belt of WCW lore and the WWE Championship. It's not the equal footing. It's not the same belt. It's got a weird lineage. Now, they've so screwed up the WWE title lineages.
Yeah.
No idea what's what anymore. But just to call it like, that's the Hulk Hogan belt. That's the Hollywood belt. It's like, okay, but it's still the belt. It's still the one.
Yeah.
But this is weird. Very strange.
When he said Bruno Sammartino, like when he was, I was just like, this is over. As soon as you were connecting to that, this is over. You killed the belt, which I think they absolutely did kill the belt when they did that.
Yeah.
Keywork says, I think Seth is like a junkyard dog at WWE because he was a part of the authority and he doesn't want to go WWE go back to what it was. Maybe. I mean, Seth, did like try to blur their lines by calling Rock and saying, you're at the board of directors. You shouldn't be down here. Fuck you. You shouldn't be doing that. And he's continuing this, but it seems like a really weak angle to take with all this other more exciting angles involved in this overall thing that he's going to go after The Rock because he's on the board of directors. It seems weird.
Yeah, and it feels like Seth should be like the natural, like, thorn in the side of Roman since their history.
Yes.
With the Shield and the whole "oh, you've never beat me clean," kind of thing. But they didn't even go there. Like you said, they just had him standing there impotently yelling, "You can't just do what you want. That's not how it works." Blah 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 blah. And yet they're doing it. So what do you mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't wrestle right now, so you can't do shit about it either. So you just look like a punk. You look like an absolute geek. And then you stand there looking like the Riddler. You know what I mean? Like, just it didn't work. It didn't work at all. It just made Seth look completely secondary in the situation.
Yeah. The old size matter argument. It's like, that's not for me to say.
Jorge Iniesta says, hey fam, they definitely did an audible. People don't know the word work. People don't know the word work. I'm hoping this goes well where we get Cody as champ and Rock versus Roman next year. Maybe war games with them. Rock did say long game. Look, I know he said long game, but there's no fucking way he's coming back to be a wrestler for a year. He's going to pop up every few months. But once the SummerSlam thing is done, wherever happens from that, yeah, exactly. He's got that going on.
We got Moana, man.
Pop in every few months. The Rock is not coming back full-time to wrestling. People forget he only wrestled for 6 years in the WWE. 6, okay? That's not the same kind of thing as someone like AJ or someone like Shawn or someone like Triple H even. Like, yes, he loves wrestling. Yes, it's in his blood, but he is definitely much more interested in other things besides pro wrestling. So he will come back occasionally, but he was not going to be like showing up on Raw and SmackDown every week or whatever. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this?
He wrestled John Cena and got hurt. Like, he ripped his abductor muscles.
That was 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like that, like, he didn't get younger in that period of time. And the guy carries around so much muscle and so much mass. And whether it's whatever, gas or what, I don't care. But that takes a toll, and it takes a lot longer to repair those muscles. I say The Rock's got 2 in him, and that's it. 2 matches. And
from what people tell me who have worked on sets with The Rock, I know a few people who've done that. They like his stunt double does a lot of the work because Rock's body is so damaged from pro wrestling and football that it is hard for him to get and do some of these things that you see him do in the movies because it really does affect his body for quite some time afterwards. So as much as he lifts, gym muscles ain't wrestle muscles, bro. No. Your thoughts here, Chris?
Yeah, he's limited. He's very, 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 very limited. So to think that there was some grand design to have The Rock super involved, I mean, you said at the very beginning, bro, this is more of a PR thing for The Rock. Go back to where they love me. You know what I mean? And
100%.
Blah, blah, blah. And he got $30 million to do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Rock's going to show up when he has time. And that's going to be that. He is not going to be on the programs like that. I'd be fucking shocked if he was. Yeah, he'll be on SmackDown next week, but we probably won't see him again until right before the next pay-per-view or even after that because I don't know. I really don't know if that tag match is going to happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? With him and Roman and whatnot. So I don't know. We'll see. But that expectation of Rock being around a lot, I think is naive at best.
It's crazy.
I think it would say something horrible about his Hollywood career if The Rock was more available than he should be to be at these shows. That would not be a good sign for him.
Well, we have to get to Black Adam 2 with him and Superman, right? Like that's still happening.
Boy,
no, not happening. Oh, damn it.
V Skywalker says, "Where do you think Jade ends up, Raw or SmackDown?" I'm glad Tiffany's on SmackDown. Who do you think Jade goes up against first?
I think that it would make the most sense to put her on SmackDown with Bianca, so they can be buddies. I'd like to see her do a little thing with Nia Jax. I thought at the Royal Rumble that was pretty fun.
That was cool. Yeah,
I thought that Jade at the Rumble. Of course, you guys know I'm a Jade fan. I thought she was great. Big pop. She played her role exactly how it needed to be played. She looked great, looked tough. Yeah, put her there with Nia Jax. Do something like that. Put her with Bianca. I don't know.
A lot of people said Nia sandbagged her when she was trying to throw her over the rope. So if that's that's something you can play up. If that's an angle you can play up. And look, Nia by blood is part of the bloodline. So there is stuff to play with there with Jade and Nia as well, Aaron. So that's a great suggestion.
What a great spot with her and Bianca too, like doing the double press slam. And yeah, Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown makes sense. I like the way that they're bringing people in and not just making it like we're going to do a whole draft. Just bring these people in like they're normal people. Yeah. And she's great.
Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah. If they're not going to have Jade and Bianca tag, I'd rather Jade go to Raw so they stay away from each other, because all that's going to happen is just like with Bianca and Rhea, people are going to be like, well, why aren't they fighting? You know what I mean? Like, that's just all it's going to be. Same reason they moved Cody away from Roman, this past WrestleMania season.
Yeah, right.
This calendar, rather. And so, yeah, I think that she can go to Raw. I mean, SmackDown's effing crowded right now. And then, like, her being on the same brand as Rhea does make sense, because them not fighting that makes more, that jives better, because it's like, you just got here. You can't be fighting me. I'm the world champion. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that makes more sense why they wouldn't be going head to head. But with Rhea kind of keeping an eye in the back of her head with this juggernaut on its way up the ladder, that's a better situation, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's hit some Streamlabs here. We got two more of the super chats, but I want to hit some of these Streamlabs. This is a long one. Nerman Lowe, the Garfield cat. Welcome back. What a wild 2024. However, WWE got here. I'm glad they pivoted with Cody, with the Elimination Chamber winning, chasing the World Heavyweight Champion. I figure Seth is removed from the bloodline equation, and whatever happens with Rock, Roman, and Cody all takes place on night 2. Yeah, of course, right? That's your final match
for sure.
Rock, Roman, Cody got to be night 2 for sure. Anything to say on that, or are we good to move on to the next one?
Yeah, we're not doing 2 nights. Like, Roman's not wrestling twice. Like, we're not doing that. Like, there's what Meltzer said, they're going to unify the belts. None of that shit's happening. It's not. Too many people, too many mouths to feed. Knock it off.
If they reunify the belts, I'll be so.
Makes no sense.
You guys remember how I felt about them splitting them up in the first place? Yeah, like I'll be irate, utterly irate.
It's the dumbest idea. You just created it, and you're gonna hit. And the reason you
just got here, it just got here. The other belt. Lord have mercy.
Christine, good to see you, Christine. She says, hi, everyone. Great to catch the reunion live, so sending some love. I will be making the trip from Australia to Philly for my first WrestleMania, so I have been more invested in the build-up. Sure, it's been nonsense, but I would be lying if I said I hated the kickoff show. Fair enough, Christine. Fuck yeah. I mean, I'm never going to tell someone not to like something that they liked. I mean, people could look at the shit I liked and be like, why the fuck do you like that? So we all have that. So I'm happy you're happy. What do you guys think? An Aussie here flying into Philly for their first Mania. That's awesome. That's so cool.
I enjoy it. I mean, you picked the hell of a one. You picked XL, baby. You know what I mean? Like, that is it's going to be fun, man. I don't really go to WrestleMania like that. I've always been a Rumble guy. But I couldn't make Rumble this year. I was at WrestleMania in LA, and hey, if you're going to pick one, that's the one.
Yeah, agreed.
I've been to 2 Rumbles, 2 Manias, and I can tell you as far as WrestleMania, drink sparingly, because the bathroom line is going to be long. That's all I could, and you got to hold it for a long time.
It's like Hall H at Comic-Con.
Basically, yeah, it gets pretty bad.
Yeah, 1 water all day and 1 piece of food. That's it. Nick _B says,
wait, that was that was a lady?
Yes.
Oh, you'll be all right. You'll be all right.
Nick _B says, imagine Steve Austin after winning back-to-back Rumble stepping aside for a member of the board and then getting slapped at the press conference without retaliating. I hope they get Cody and Seth their heat back. Yeah, this is fair. There's been some people who have pushed back on this, saying that Cody, we're all looking at Cody going, well, he's being professional, he's being smart, he's playing the end. But some people are seeing this, and as Punk said, if someone slaps me in the face, I'm punching them in the face or what have you. So are they endangering Cody here? Are some people seeing him like he's being a little bit of a bitch by not coming back at these guys? What are you guys' thoughts on some of the people who are saying that?
I mean, to a certain extent, yes. They're borrowing heat from Cody to give to The Rock, who needs it the least. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
You know, it can't be. But I mean, also Cody has a tendency, though, when he's a babyface, to be a little extra on the goody side. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what turned people against him in AEW. You know what I mean? And we're thinking maybe he was secretly Homelander, you know, the whole time. And that didn't end up not being the case. So it's kind of like, don't lose your edge, Cody. You know what I mean? You're a good guy. We get it, but don't lose the edge. We love you. You know, Aaron is beside himself about what you got going on. Quite literally beside him, I guess, with the action figure. So, you know, just don't lose your edge. Don't keep your heart 3 stacks.
What do you say there?
If Lex Luthor slaps Superman in a public forum, Superman ain't gonna punch him.
Interesting. Wow.
He's gonna wait till the right time. He's gonna beat his ass. It's gonna happen.
Christine also says, I will say my real issue lies with the growing allegations towards Vince. Going to Mania has been a 20-year dream, and whilst I know I will enjoy myself, it will never be lost on me the suffering faced by his victims. Thanks again for doing this show. Yeah, we haven't addressed that. Gentlemen, I mean, that's been happening over the last few weeks. I know we're already almost at 2 hours, so I don't want to keep you guys too much longer because I know we all have days to get to. But yeah, this situation, which popped off a few weeks ago, is getting worse and worse as more of the information comes out. TKO and Endeavor are doing all they can to distract you from it, which is what The Rock is all about, coming back and all of that. But then you've got John Laurinaitis and his lawyers starting to sing like a canary here and turning over, like just starting to talk about certain, like the Ashley Massaro situation. He weighed in on this, his lawyers did, saying they ignored her complaint. They totally just brushed it away. And then you have Brock being removed from him. This is the end of Brock, like on so many levels, it seems like, because they're essentially saying, yeah, he's guilty. We're removing him from everything. Vince is being removed. So what's the end result of this? I mean, because Triple H is literally the son-in-law of Vince McMahon. Where is the end of all? And there's no way Rock's not still talking to Vince. Where is the end result of all of this?
Man, if I'm Triple H, I keep my nose clean, absolutely clean, because everyone close to that situation is getting sacked.
Yeah,
Bruce Pritchard, I think, better be thinking about doing something to wrestle live shows pretty soon, because I can only imagine how much longer he has in that situation.
Yeah,
you know, they really talked about Kevin Dunn being like let go because of his problems with Triple H. I wonder if he didn't see kind of the writing on the wall and the breadcrumbs to what was getting ready to go down, and knowing that he was on borrowed time, and like, you know, all those guys are going. So yeah, man, and rightfully so. Yeah, rightfully so.
100%.
You can't tell me that people in that inner circle didn't know what was going on. I refuse. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a high level person at Live Nation, but I am in comedy, and in comedy, we know where the bodies are buried. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just is what it is. Like that's how human nature works.
Yes, Cat Williams and Monique just showed us they know where the bodies are buried.
Absolutely. And if human beings have secrets, there are human beings who are going to tell secrets. They go hand in hand. No one keeps a secret. That's why I don't believe in most conspiracy theories, because if they were real, most people would know. You know what I mean? Because no one can keep a goddamn secret. And so, and Ari Emanuel has made it, made a history of playing absolutely no games when it comes to this type of shit. So,
dude, Netflix, $5 billion. The last thing they want is that coming up on there, messing with their money.
100%. This is a different game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a different level of the game. And Vince McMahon, I mean, ultimately his hubris and his greed is what put him in this situation. He thought he was a player in this world.
Yeah.
He is not a player in this world.
Yep.
This is a different level, and they showed you the door. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, look, we've had this we've had this dichotomy in our brains for a long time, knowing what a scumbag Vince McMahon is and still trying to enjoy the thing that we love. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Now that he's gone, I think we feel a little bit better about it, but it really is us seeing, damn, like it was much worse than we could have ever thought.
And there's no way this young woman is the only woman who has had this done to her over the years. There have been all kinds of allegations and stuff. I mean, I forget the female wrestler's name. She tweeted out going, there's even more. Thank God I got out of that situation. And I dealt with the mental health stuff of working in that place. Maria Kanellis, she tweeted that out.
Yeah.
It was very like, okay, we get what you're talking about. You're not specifically talking about it, but we get what you're talking about. I'm sure there are quite a lot of women who've endured and experienced or heard about that kind of stuff. It's very similar to Weinstein, Aaron. I think there's still actors, directors, producers, people in Hollywood now who knew what Weinstein is doing, but they allowed him to get roasted on the spit. And because that town needs to function, they all claimed like they had no idea about it, but they fucking knew. And there's a lot of people in WWE, still in WWE, who absolutely fucking knew Vince was doing this shit.
Yeah.
When you hear these things, like when you started hearing the stuff coming out, you're like, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
And then every sentence was more bizarre than the last. And it's like, what in the world happened to this man? Mm-hmm. And I think it really, and shout out to Janelle Grant for not only coming forward, but putting her name out there. And saying, this happened to me. I'm telling my story, take it or leave it. I mean, that takes a lot of fucking bravery.
Yeah.
Knowing that there are people that are idiots that are going to go out there and be like, she's making it all up for some money. Why the fuck would you make this up?
Yeah.
To what end? But anyway, believe victims. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And I think it really hit home for me when I was listening to Corny. And he was talking about Vince. And like initially he's reading the reports and he's like, this is ridiculous. They're like kind of like cutting jokes. Yeah. But then they did a follow-up and Corny was like, I didn't realize this is not the Vince McMahon that I knew. Vince McMahon was never like this to me. If you brought up something that wasn't wrestling to Vince McMahon, he didn't give a shit. Like, he didn't care. So to know that this was happening he's like, you could sense like the disappointment in Jim Cornette for Vince McMahon. I was like, wow, that's really telling. And I think that Lance Storm,
Lance. Right.
Man, Lance Storm, well respected, like really put it out there. And he said something like, Vince McMahon always looked down his nose at professional wrestling. And today, professional wrestling looks down its nose at Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And it's just like everything, it brings everything into question. The Tori Wilson segments where he's like kissing her and Stacy Keibler when she
talked about on Chris Van Fleet.
I didn't see it yet. Tori's always been up front, a big fan. The Stacy Keibler stuff, the Trish stuff, like everything comes back into question.
Yeah.
The stuff he did with Stephanie, and it's like, what's going on here? And then you start to think like Shane left for a while. Why did Shane leave? Why did Stephanie come back, leave, and then want Vince voted off the board?
Yeah.
And it's like all this stuff starts coming into question. I'm like, I'm the same camp as Chris. Like, as much as I love Daddy Triple H, like doing creative and all this kind of stuff and bringing us into this new era, if Triple H knew and was a part of this, he's got to go.
It's got to go.
And Bruce Pritchard's got to go, and Kevin Dunn's already gone, and John Laurinaitis is already gone, and the fucking intern that saw the pictures and didn't say anything, he's got to go. Like, everybody's got to go. And like you said, Ari Emanuel ain't gonna put up with it. Like they got a brand to protect. Dana White was over, the owner of the UFC was over here smacking on his wife, and somehow he survived. I don't know how that worked.
They don't see UFC the way they see WWE.
They really don't. And
it's not a kid's thing. It's not a kid's thing. Yeah.
It's like, we knew, and people that say like, oh, there's no way Vince did this. Really?
No.
Really?
It's moronic. It's moronic to say that.
And I will say allegedly, please don't sue me, but it's just like these alleged actions are just, you hear it and you're like, people in power do fucking crazy shit. And just, oh my God, I can't imagine what these people have gone through. They've been scared into silence because he's Vince McMahon. He's a fucking billionaire. Yeah. And he can make you or break you just like that.
And the text messages, Jesus Christ in heaven, man. I read those and was like, wow, this is horrific, depraved shit. Yeah, and I think, and it sucks because Vince I think he knew this was all coming. This is why he came back to sell the fucking thing, because he's like, I'm going to insulate myself. I'm going to have billions of dollars, and I'm going to find a way to keep myself protected when all this shit goes down. And now the shit's gone down. And, it was only days after The Rock and Vince with Ari were at the New York Stock Exchange ringing the fucking bell, announcing The Rock as a director on the board of directors for TKO Endeavor. I'm sure if The Rock didn't know this was going on, I'm sure The Rock is super fucking pissed that his brand gets stained and connected to this shit from Vince just days later. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know how that's all going to go down with that. And I don't know what you do. Like, how can you should take all of Vince's money and leave him penniless, like at the end of fucking Godfather 3, Michael Corleone, just all alone with a yipping dog as he falls over dead. That's what should happen to Vince. Honestly, that's what should happen to Vince, in my personal opinion. But he'll keep all his money. Rich people love protecting rich people, and it's the shame. It's shame of it all. So, somebody said, turns out his Vince McMahon character wasn't a shoot. Let's see. Haskell says, hey guys, welcome back. My expected matches at WrestleMania on the men's side: Cody versus Roman with Rock as guest ref, Seth versus Drew, KO versus Logan Paul, LA Knight versus AJ, Lashley versus Reed, Bronson Reed. Oh my God, these are getting worse as you go along. Gunther versus Kaiser, and Dom versus R-Truth. The pop for him on last night's backstage segment was huge. Dom versus R-Truth could be real interesting. I think that's a lot of fun. Thoughts on any of these matches? But
not a Mania match though.
What?
That's not a Mania match.
You don't think it's a Kaiser? You think Dom versus R-Truth is not a Mania match?
No. We're getting LA Knight versus Logan Paul. That's happening.
Yes.
We're gonna get Gunther either against Jey Uso or Braun Breaker. Please do that. I think we're not even talking about the LWO situation. We're going to talk about Andrade coming back. So we got Ray, Andrade, and Carlito. Yeah. Zelina Vega versus Santos, Angel, Humberto with Elektra Lopez in their corner. Shout out. That'll be a great one. We're doing AJ in LA at Elimination Chamber. That's what's happening. So,
okay. All right.
As far as like everything else, yeah, sure. But tag titles are a little weird. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton, what do you do with them? I have no idea. Yeah. Bobby Lashley and his gang versus Karrion Kross and his gang, sure, whatever. Why do they have BFAB? I don't know. But yeah, that's what's going down.
Okay. Anything to add, Chris, or we move on?
No, I agree with Aaron 100%.
All right, Justin says, hi, guys. So nice to see you back together. Did you see the screenshots of the family tree showing The Rock named himself the High Chief, not his grandfather? Foreshadowing. Aaron, love that Tiffany Stratton's on SmackDown. She's going to shine. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
I love that tweet. Someone say, if you have to bring a PowerPoint to your promos, you're done. You're finished. Hollywood Rock says, happy to see you guys together. Was tired of just getting the perspectives of other content creators. The presence of Strong Style is needed in the community. Rocha, where is the merchandise? Well, we tried it. We didn't sell that many shirts, bro. We had the Strong Style merchandise. We didn't sell that much stuff. So, all right. Your sister set it up. She was great to get that set up for us, Aaron, but didn't even.
They're still available. You can buy one. The tpublic.com/StrongStyleLive. Go ahead and buy one.
There you go.
I will take your $2.33 commission that I get from it.
Hollywood E-Rock says, I believe they had a plan, but injuries and possibly the Vince situation created an environment for them to be flexible. They've been intentionally vague with certain aspects of the story, allowing fan involvement to aid them on which direction to take. Yeah, that's it's very possible that they, were a little bit ambiguous, and seeing where the fans went to kind of guide them on where they need to go. Even though Triple H always seems to claim that he never listens to the fans, it's clear that they do. Anything to add on that? Are we good? Okay. Christine says, I just also have to add, I need my Bayley Night 1 main event with Paramore doing her entrance. That ending on SmackDown clouded Bayley's long-awaited face turn. It's time for the perennial bridesmaid to get her bride moment, as you guys have said already, yeah?
I'm trying to see if those emojis just pop up no matter what I do, but it seems like it's just a thumbs up thing.
It'll do
it's
it.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird. But absolutely right. We've already talked about that. Bayley, come on. Bayley needs all the pomp and circumstance. It's time to celebrate her, man. Give her flowers. She's the best.
100%.
Got to.
Great pants.
Yeah.
A+ pants.
A+ pants.
Listen, I'm not going to disagree. Hollywood E-Rock says the stock on Seth's title increases if he defends against The Rock at Mania.
No.
Not going to face The Rock. Seth got himself involved at the kickoff, and his championship is the workhorse title. Rock shows up on Raw proclaiming himself the workhorse of all entertainment. We Prince and Money. Now, Seth versus The Rock just sounds terrible, in my opinion. Do you guys think that's a possibility?
You can play it on WWE 2K24. It's about the only place you're about to get that, my friend.
Facts.
I agree. All right, last couple of super chats, and we'll get on out of here. Skywalker says, are you liking what they are doing with Jey Uso, and where do you think the Bloodline story is going? Does Jey interfere in Roman's match at WrestleMania?
Yeah, I could say. I think the whole Bloodline is going to get involved. I think Jay's going to counter Jimmy. Solo's going to come, and then Rock is going to have him back down, and then Cody is free to beat Roman as he will.
Okay, Aaron, any thoughts on the Jay stuff?
I love what they're doing with Jay. I think he got the biggest pop at the Royal Rumble. Like, truly, I know there was issues with speakers and couldn't hear it that great, but people were bumping for Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso. So I'm a guy that thinks he should beat Gunther until Braun Breaker came to the picture, and now I'm kind of changed my mind. But yeah, I like what they're doing. They're making him a star.
They are.
And Jimmy Uso, to a much lesser extent, but his in the Rumble, where his whole storyline was nobody likes Jimmy Uso, was hilarious.
Yeah. I like him there on there. I like Jimmy a lot. The Jimmy without Jay is starting to blossom on SmackDown. He's outshining Solo in a lot of ways. I think personally.
No yeet.
No, yeah. Jorge Iniesta. This is our Iniestra. This is our last one. It says Iron Claw mini review. Please, loved it and cried. Yeah, that's my mini review. Loved it. Could have been a little bit more deeper, but still loved it and cried. Gentlemen, your thoughts on Iron Claw if you saw it.
I mean, it didn't hit as hard for me because I knew the story already, and I was just like, I thought it was well done. I enjoy. The Ric Flair guy. Geez, what?
God damn!
You could get 5 better Ric Flair impressions in any local bar in the United States than the person they got to actually play Ric Flair. It's unbelievable. To get Ric Flair and de-age him. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's a possibility. He would have done it.
For sure.
He'd have done it for a dinner. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. Lord have mercy. But other than that, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. Solid. I can tell you that the last line that Zac Efron as Kevin Von Erich speaks in that movie, as a brother, is absolutely fucking devastating to the point where I can't even think about it.
Yeah.
It's just awful. It's just, man, that's fuck. You really feel for him on that one.
Yeah. When his 2 kids say, we'll be your brothers now. Well, I was like,
oh God.
I was like, at a press screening, no less. It was embarrassing. Connor Pearson Ward says, I need NXT Solo back like a fish needs water.
I mean, he's
fine.
fine.
NXT's fine. NXT's doing very fine. Oba Femi, big guy, big time. Like his work.
Oh, he's saying NXT Solo, like Solo Sikoa. He needs him back in the main. Yeah, that's what.
I thought you were saying they need Solo back in NXT. No. Nah, they got Baron Corbin. They're all right.
Yeah, we'll see. NXT or WWE Speed is just gonna fucking do anything. It's not gonna do anything.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Yes, please.
This somebody mentioned in the chat. This kind of just came through. Maurice Mazanin.
Yes.
She just announced that she's having. She had. So she had some precancerous issues, and it looks like she has to have a complete hysterectomy.
Yeah, precancer ovarian issues, I think is what.
Wow. They removed 11 implants from around her ovaries and all connective tissues.
Oof.
Jesus. Man, shout out to Maurice. She's a good person, man. Like I came very close to getting her on this show. Very, very close in the DMs.
Would have been nice.
Very close, but she got busy. She's great. She's really great. If you ever meet her in person, wonderful.
Yeah. Seems like and prayers up to Maurice, of course, for a good recovery and to her family, Miz and the whole family there for sure. All right, any final words? Shall we wrap it up, gentlemen? 2 hours and 10 minutes. We got to go. Yes.
All right, to be back.
See you for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll do a WrestleMania recap. We'll get back together if we can find time to do a WrestleMania recap. But this was a blast. Thank you all to everybody in the chat for joining us. We had well over 200 people for a majority of the show. Thank you for the Streamlabs and Super Chats. Thank you to these two gentlemen. Chris, always great to see you, brother. Let people know where they can find you and what you got going on, my man.
As always, Chris_please on all things social media. The Black Boy Content Club podcast is now a network.
Yeah.
We absolutely were killing it as a show. And I mean, myself, Moses Prim, friend of Strong Style, Jay Washington.
Hey.
Yeah. And so we have expanded to a network. Jay hosts his own wrestling podcast with Martin Morrow and Clayton Thomas. It's called the Before the Bell podcast. So if you want to hear Jay talking about wrestling, that's your place to do it. Like I said, that show is on the Black Boy Content Club network. Right on. I don't show up on Before the Bell because I told them that I am only a part of Elite Wrestling Podcasts, and their little upstart bullshit can't afford me. So I have not made an appearance. I have not maybe I will slum it one day and do so. This is the only place you'll hear me talk about wrestling.
Hell yeah.
But please check out the channel nonetheless. We have more shows starting in the next couple months, and it's going to be a bunch of places for a bunch of content.
Awesome. Aaron, always great to see you, brother. Thanks for powering through. I know you're recovering or in the midst of an illness, so I think I speak for all the fans who are thankful that you were able to make it and hang out with us for as long as you did. Please let people know what you got going on if you want anyone to follow you or anything you're doing, my man.
I'm just on Facebook now. That's all I do, and that's for the family. I'm officiating a wedding. I ran through Law and Order Special Victims Unit from start to finish the second time. That's really about it. That's really all I got going on, guys.
Are you got anything to sell? Are you selling anything? Is any place you go to buy
no, absolutely not. I am having a WrestleMania party for night 2. So if you're in the Central Florida area, I don't know. Come on by.
Go and hang out with her. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's make it happen. All right. As for me, at the Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the Outlaw Nation on Twitch. You know the thing. Please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button so you know when we're dropping all the content. Leave comments down below. If you want to send a thanks after the show is already aired live, there's a super thanks button. Send in some support. You can do that as well. And please leave those comments. We love your comments, and especially coming back to do this show. It was a blast talking with these two gentlemen. So personally thanking them both for taking the time this afternoon to have a fun conversation. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. Enjoy the road to WrestleMania. And we'll see you when we can see you. And until then, take care and peace.